Free Fire Asia Championship will be held fully online in Battle Royale mode with 2 phases, play-ins and the Grand Finals. 7 local champions move directly onto the Grand Finals, and the rest will battle it out during play-ins for the 5 remaining spots. For play-ins, 24 teams will be split into 2 groups, A and B, based on the drawing results. Each group will have at least 1 and a maximum of 2 teams from each regional league. Group A matches will be held on November 20th, and Group B will have their matches on November 21st. Teams will be competing over 6 rounds across 3 maps, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. First and second seed from Groups A and B will advance to the final stage. The last slot will be awarded to the 3rd place team from either Group A or Group B, based on which team has accumulated more points in the play-ins. The finals will take place on November 28th, where the 5 teams from play-ins will then battle against the 7 local champions for the title of the best Free Fire squad in Asia. 12 finalists will compete together for 7 rounds in 3 available maps, with the last map being randomly picked. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for the latest news, and we'll see you soon.
Menurut gua 3 negara yang kuat tuh ada Thailand, Vietnam, sama Malaysia karena mereka semua disiplin.
FFesports là sân chơi của Việt Nam, Thái Lan và Indo. Các nước còn lại không quan tâm.
अगर बेस्ट 3 कंट्री की बात बोलूँ मैं एशिया चैम्पियनशिप में तो एक थाईलैंड हो गई, एक अपनी वियतनाम हो गई, इंडोनेशिया हो गई, क्योंकि बिकॉज यहाँ की टीमें वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन भी रह चुकी हैं और काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस है. तो दैट्स व्हाई.
Theo mình 3 quốc gia mạnh nhất đó là Thái Lan, Indo và Việt Nam. Thì Thái Lan và Indo đã từng vô địch thế giới.
ประเทศที่ 1 ก็ไทยครับประเทศที่ 2 ก็ไทย 3 ก็ไทยครับ
थाईलैंड, वियतनाम और फिलीपींस में तो साफ बहुत परसेंट पसंद है. थाईलैंड से किंग ऑफ गेमर और वियतनाम से HQ Esports.
คิดว่ามีทีมไทยกี่ทีมเข้าสู่รอบไฟนอลหรอครับผมคิดว่าทีมไทยทุกทีมมีโอกาสเข้ารอบไฟนอลหมดเลยครับอยู่ที่จังหวะแล้วก็ไทมิ่งครับ
ทั้งหมด 5 ทีมครับทีมยืนไปแล้ว1ทีมเพราะว่าทีมไทยเก่งทุกทีมครับ
Menurut aku Thailand pantas mendapatkan 5 slot tersebut karena mereka menjuarai di turnamen sebelumnya.
Mình nghĩ là không, vì chưa chắc biết được điều gì. Tại vì ở chung kết thế giới thì đã có một đội tuyển ở Thái Lan rất là mạnh và họ đã bị gớt lại khỏi chung kết.
मुझे नहीं लगता FFSC के फाइनल में थाईलैंड की 5 टीमें होगी.
कवर करना जरूरी है, लेकिन यहाँ पर ग्रेनेड काम आएगा. बिल्कुल काम आया. काम किया. Gila, with a grenade, team there, shut down, team out of that.
Menurut gua sendiri tim Indonesia yang akan lolos itu insya Allah 5-5-nya bisa lolos karena udah ketahuan dari meta kita dan tim Indonesia emang kuat banget.
Việt Nam sẽ có 3 đội tham dự vào chung kết. Gao và Heavy sẽ đi tiếp. HQ và Box không có cửa.
Vị trí của Mr. 07 đang rong ruổi chiếc xe và mục tiêu anh ta hướng tới là Bird the Sky. Phía này Bell đang lọt vào tầm ngắm. Góc cua này đâm được Bell và tiếp tục dí theo Mr. 07 đang có tầm bắn là quá tốt. Bật ảo quang hồ mạnh chui ra giữa đội hình của Bird the Sky và không có bất kỳ một cửa nào dành cho DQS cùng với Cassin. Có thể tiến công vào vòng bo, cả Mr. 07 ném thêm một quả đầu đạn và đó là quét sạch Bird the Sky chỉ trong một tình huống mà thôi. Tại sao có thể làm được như vậy trong pha xử lý lần này? Đâm ngã đội trưởng, ném lựu đạn, quét sạch phần còn lại của đội hình. Mr. 07 quá tuyệt vời. Quá hay, chỉ có thể nói là quá hay trong tình huống vừa rồi đến từ sói thần mà thôi.
Đội tuyển mạnh nhất bảng A, nhất là Gao, nhì chắc là Kauji.
ทีมที่ผมกังวลที่สุดในกลุ่มของผมนะครับผมก็คือทีม GWW นะครับก็เพราะว่าเขาลงที่เดียวกับผมก็คือเซนทันนะครับผม
Tim mana yang harus diwaspadai? Menurut gua tim yang harus diwaspadai DG sama KUG sih. Karena gameplaynya menurut gua lebih konsisten sih.
ग्रुप ए में मुझे जो 3 टीमें टफ लगती है वो एक HQ Esports है क्योंकि उनके पास इंटरनेशनल और नेशनल एक्सपीरियंस बहुत ज़्यादा है और उसके साथ ही दूसरे पे किंग ऑफ गेमर उनके पास भी इंटरनेशनल और नेशनल एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा है और थर्ड पे है GOW, वो भी काफ़ी अच्छा खेलती है।
Mình nghĩ nếu mà đối thủ mình dè chừng nhất là KOG, vì họ nhảy trùng khu của mình là biệt thự ở mắt thiên đường.
Tim yang terbaik di grupku tim dari SES, KUG sama SISGI. Karena di turnamen sebelumnya mereka menunjukkan performa yang terbaik.
किंग ऑफ गेमर मुझे पर्सनली बहुत पसंद है क्योंकि FFCS के फाइनल में उनका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा था, 1 पॉइंट से बढ़ाया गया था।
สำหรับผมไม่กลัวทีมไหนสักทีมนะครับ
Pesan gua untuk fans DG ya tetap dukung kita, semoga kita bisa memberikan performa yang maksimal di ajang FFesports nanti.
To our supporters, we will do our best to conquer the group stage to enter in the final stage.
ก็ฝากติดตามทีม King of Gamer Cup ด้วยนะครับผมเราก็ฝึกซ้อมกันอย่างหนักเพื่อจะให้ได้ผ่านถึงรอบชิงครับก็ฝากติดตามด้วยนะครับวันที่ 22 นี้ครับ
Mọi người hãy đón chờ màn trình diễn của Gale tại giải châu Á lần này.
Pesan saya buat tim lawan, jangan lupa untuk waspadai tim kami, karena tim kami sangat kompak dalam segi mekanik, dalam mikro dan juga makro.
Mr. 05 hãy lộ tô ở chung kết.
แล้วก็ฝากถึงฝ่ายตรงข้ามด้วยครับเจอCCGระวังหมดตีนะครับของขาว
Hello mọi người, mình là Cấm Đêm, mình đến từ đội tuyển Bird Sky. Mình thường hay chơi ở vị trí tăng cơ và hai khẩu súng yêu thích nhất của mình là chim cỡ kiếm và M1887. Chào mừng mọi người đến với series thao tác tay cùng tuyển thủ.
This November, we are very excited to announce a tournament dedicated solely to the Asia region. Free Fire Asia Championship, featuring professional local teams across Asia. A total of 31 top pro teams from 7 regional leagues will be competing to determine who is the best in Asia. Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia will each claim 5 spots in this competition, while India, Pakistan, Chinese Taipei, and the Malaysia, Cambodia, Philippines region each gets 4 slots. Free Fire Asia Championship will be held fully online in Battle Royale mode with 2 phases, play-ins and the grand finals. 7 local champions move directly onto the grand finals, and the rest will battle it out during play-ins for the 5 remaining spots. For play-ins, 24 teams will be split into 2 groups, A and B, based on the drawing results. Each group will have at least 1 and a maximum of 2 teams from each regional league. Group A matches will be held on November 20th, and Group B will have their matches on November 21st. Teams will be competing over 6 rounds across 3 maps, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. First and second seed from Groups A and B will advance to the final stage. The last slot will be awarded to the 3rd place team from either Group A or Group B, based on which team has accumulated more points in the play-ins. The finals will take place on November 28th, where the 5 teams from play-ins will then battle against the 7 local champions for the title of the best Free Fire squad in Asia. 12 finalists will compete together for 7 rounds in 3 available maps, with the last map being randomly picked. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for the latest news, and we'll see you soon.
Menurut gua 3 negara yang kuat tuh ada Thailand, Vietnam, sama Malaysia karena mereka semua disiplin.
FFesports là sân chơi của Việt Nam, Thái Lan và Indo. Các nước còn lại không quan tâm.
अगर बेस्ट 3 घंटे की बात बोलूँ मैं एशिया चैम्पियनशिप में तो एक थाईलैंड हो गई, एक अपनी वियतनाम हो गई, इंडोनेशिया हो गई, क्योंकि बिकॉज यहाँ की टीमें वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन भी रह चुकी हैं और काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस है। तो that's why.
Theo mình 3 quốc gia mạnh nhất đó là Thái Lan, Indo và Việt Nam. Thì Thái Lan và Indo đã từng vô địch thế giới.
ประเทศที่ 1 ก็ไทยครับประเทศที่ 2 ก็ไทย 3 ก็ไทยครับ
थाईलैंड, वियतनाम और फिलीपींस। फिलीपींस मुझे साफ बहुत पसंद पसंद है। थाईलैंड से किंग ऑफ गेमर और वियतनाम से HQ Esports।
คิดว่ามีทีมไทยกี่ทีมเข้าสู่รอบไฟนอลเหรอครับผมคิดว่าทีมไทยทุกทีมมีโอกาสเข้ารอบไฟนอลหมดเลยครับอยู่ที่จังหวะแล้วก็ไทามมิ่งครับ
ทั้งหมด 5 ทีมครับทีมยืนไปแล้ว 1 ทีมเพราะว่าทีมไทยเก่งทุกทีมครับ
Menurut aku Thailand pantas mendapatkan 5 slot tersebut karena mereka menjuarai di turnamen sebelumnya.
Mình nghĩ là không, vì chưa chắc biết được điều gì. Tại vì ở chung kết thế giới thì đã có một đội tuyển ở Thái Lan rất là mạnh và họ đã bị gác lại khỏi chung kết.
मुझे नहीं लगता FFSC के फाइनल में थाईलैंड की 5 टीमें होगी।
कवर करना जरूरी है, लेकिन यहाँ पर ग्रेनेड काम आएगा, बिल्कुल काम आया, काम किया, कीड़ा, उधर ग्रेनेड, टीम से shut down, टीम out of the
Menurut gue sendiri tim Indonesia yang akan lolos itu insya Allah 5-5-nya bisa lolos karena udah ketahuan dari meta kita dan tim Indonesia emang kuat banget.
Việt Nam sẽ có 3 đội tham dự vào chung kết. Gao và Heavy sẽ đi tiếp. HQ và Box không có cửa.
Vị trí của Mr. 07 đang rong ruổi chiếc xe và mục tiêu anh ta hướng tới là Bird the Sky. Phía này Bell đang lọt vào tầm ngắm. Góc cua này đâm được Bell và tiếp tục dí theo Mr. 07 đang có tầm bắn là quá tốt. Bật hào quang hồ mạnh chui ra giữa đội hình của Bird the Sky và không có bất kỳ một cửa nào dành cho DQS cùng với Cassin. Có thể tiến công vào vòng bo, cả Mr. 07 ném thêm một quả đầu đạn và đó là quét sạch Bird the Sky chỉ trong một tình huống mà thôi. Tại sao có thể làm được như vậy trong pha xử lý lần này? Đâm ngã đội trưởng, ném lựu đạn, quét sạch phần còn lại của đội hình. Mr. 07 quá tuyệt vời. Quá hay, chỉ có thể nói là quá hay trong tình huống vừa rồi đến từ sói thần mà thôi.
Đội tuyển mạnh nhất bảng A, nhất là Gao, nhì chắc là Chelsea
ทีมที่ผมกังวลที่สุดในกลุ่มของผมนะครับผมก็คือทีม GWW นะครับก็เพราะว่าเขาลงที่เดียวกับผมก็คือเซนทันนะครับผม
Tim mana yang harus diwaspadai? Menurut gua tim yang harus diwaspadai DG sama KUG sih. Karena gameplaynya menurut gua lebih konsisten sih.
ग्रुप ए में मुझे जो 3 टीमें टफ लगती है वो एक HQ Esports है क्योंकि उनके पास इंटरनेशनल और नेशनल एक्सपीरियंस बहुत ज़्यादा है और उसके साथ ही दूसरे पे किंग ऑफ गेमर उनके पास भी इंटरनेशनल और नेशनल एक्सपीरियंस काफ़ी ज़्यादा है और थर्ड पे है GOW वो भी काफ़ी अच्छा खेलती है
Mình nghĩ nếu mà đối thủ mình dè chừng nhất là KOG vì họ nhảy trùng khu của mình là biệt thự ở map thiên đường.
Tim yang terbaik di grupku tim dari SES, KUG sama SISGI. Karena di turnamen sebelumnya mereka menunjukkan performa yang terbaik.
किंग ऑफ गेमर मुझे पर्सनली बहुत पसंद है क्योंकि FFCS के फाइनल में उनका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा था, 1 पॉइंट से बताया गया था।
สำหรับผมไม่กลัวทีมไหนสักทีมนะครับ
Pesan gua untuk fans dari DG ya tetap dukung kita, semoga kita bisa memberikan performa yang maksimal di ajang FFesports nanti.
To our supporters, we will do our best to conquer the group stage to enter in the final stage.
ก็ฝากติดตามทีม King of Gamer Cup ด้วยนะครับผมก็เราก็ฝึกซ้อมกันอย่างหนักเพื่อจะให้ได้ผ่านถึงรอบชิงครับก็ฝากติดตามด้วยนะครับวันที่ 22 นี้ครับ
Mọi người hãy đón chờ màn trình diễn của Gale tại giải châu Á lần này.
Pesan saya buat tim lawan, jangan lupa untuk waspadai tim kami karena tim kami sangat kompak dalam segi mekanik, dalam mikro dan juga makro.
Mr. 05 hãy lộ tô ở chung kết.
แล้วก็ฝากถึงฝ่ายตรงข้ามด้วยครับเจอTCGรอหมดตีนะครับขอบคุณครับ
Hello mọi người, mình là Cấm Đêm, mình đến từ đội tuyển Bớt Sky. Mình thường hay chơi ở vị trí tăng cơ và hai khẩu súng yêu thích nhất của mình là chim cỡ kiến và M1887. Chào mừng mọi người đến với series thao tác tay cùng tuyển thủ.
This November, we are very excited to announce a tournament dedicated solely to the Asia region. Free Fire Asia Championship, featuring professional local teams across Asia. A total of 31 top pro teams from 7 regional leagues will be competing to determine who is the best in Asia. Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia will each claim 5 spots in this competition, while India, Pakistan, Chinese Taipei, and the Malaysia-Cambodia-Philippines region each gets 4 slots. Free Fire Asia Championship will be held fully online in Battle Royale mode with 2 phases, play-ins and the grand finals. 7 local champions move directly onto the grand finals, and the rest will battle it out during play-ins for the 5 remaining spots. For play-ins, 24 teams will be split into 2 groups, A and B, based on the drawing results. Each group will have at least 1 and a maximum of 2 teams from each regional league. Group A matches will be held on November 20th, and Group B will have their matches on November 21st. Teams will be competing over 6 rounds across 3 maps, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. First and second seed from Groups A and B will advance to the final stage. The last slot will be awarded to the 3rd place team from either Group A or Group B, based on which team has accumulated more points in the play-ins. The finals will take place on November 28th, where the 5 teams from play-ins will then battle against the 7 local champions for the title of the best Free Fire squad in Asia. 12 finalists will compete together for 7 rounds in 3 available maps, with the last map being randomly picked. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for the latest news, and we'll see you soon.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Free Fire Asia Championships 2021. I'm Tash Pani, your caster for today, alongside Dan Lee, and this is our first time ever casting together. This is going to be really exciting. So all I want to say is that we have seen the country finals, we have seen MCP Major Season 2, and all of that has brought us to this very moment, which is FFAC 2021.
And we're basically seeing the best of the best in the region, right, Tash? And I think this is really cool for us because this is the first time, firstly, that we're working together, and secondly, this is the first time that we're casting together, right?
Yeah, that's right. So right now we have seen the best from Malaysia, we have seen the best from Philippines, from Vietnam, Indonesia, and everywhere else in between. So as you guys know, there's no World Series this year. However, there is the Asia Championships, which is really exciting because we want to see the best in Asia. So if you guys didn't know, 12 teams total will be competing later on, and right now, today is day 1 of play-ins.
Oh my gosh, Tash, I actually cannot wait. So we've got 2 days of action. First day gonna have me and Tash. Second day you'll have Husky and Mustachio. No one cares about those guys. You're gonna have so much more fun with us. But in particular, there's a couple teams that I actually have my eye on. And I think in particular, if you don't watch the Free Fire scene, you're gonna really want to keep an eye on the Vietnamese scene and the Thai scene. I honestly think, including last year's performance, this is a region, or these two regions in particular, incredibly strong. And at this point in time, I haven't really seen any other regions be able to compete with them on that same level. So maybe this is going to be the first year where another region maybe rises up. We could see the Filipinos really become a threat in this. We're going to have Indonesia. Indonesia did pretty well last year as well, although the team did peter off towards the end of the tournament. But again, it comes down to the team's performances over the course of this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. So for now, just now I was speaking to you, Danley, and you said that you were rooting for the Vietnamese teams because last year they were doing phenomenally well. You did cast the last World Series, I believe. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened at that time?
Okay, so the reason why I actually was rooting for Vietnam at the time, it was actually just because of one team, and it was, I hope I'm not mistaking it, it was Burst the Sky, and they had this really interesting play style where, generally speaking, you know the danger zones, right? Like they randomly pop up on the map, and you want to exit the danger zone ASAP because if you get hit, then you just get automatically KO'd. This is a team that takes it to the next level, and they actually force fight in the danger zone. So they won't hide, they will actually drive through the danger zone and actually try and fight teams while they're all trying to retreat out of the zone. It's really funny. I don't think it worked last year, but it did work in their regional tournament. It was hilarious.
Alright, so for now though, let's have a look at the tournament timeline here. For today and tomorrow, it will be the play-ins, where we are looking for 5 teams to be heading over to the finals to become one of the top 12 teams to be heading over there on November 28th.
It's really exciting times, Tash, but it's also going to be a very scary time for these teams, right? Because essentially what's happening is that it's a do or die situation. If you mess up today, you don't really get a backup. You don't get a second chance. It's you have to perform today. And of course, we have to take a look and see what these teams are competing for. As you can see on the screen, we've got a 400,000 USD total prize pool, with first place taking home $80,000 alone. And then you've got 50,000, which, I mean, it's fine, but I'd like that extra 30,000 if you ask me. It's a lot of money at the end of the day.
Yeah, honestly, it is. This is one of the biggest prize pools we've seen so far for any tournament we've seen right now. 400,000 US dollars to boot, especially for us in Asia. We all know that our currencies aren't that big. So for us here in Malaysia, I'm just gonna say Malaysia because I live here. But yeah, times that by 4, that's a hell of a lot of money. But for now though, this is Group A of the survivors. These are the teams that will be competing under Group A. So there are like a total of 12 teams right here. And as you know, for the grand finals later, to get there, you have to be a top 2 from each group. So basically, it's going to be top 2 from Group A, top 2 from Group B, and then for third place, we're going to find for the 5th team, who's going to be the best between the third place teams. So for now, though, we see Dunya Games, we also see KOG, we have HQ Esports, SAF, Epic as well, No Chance, France, Desi Gamers, ZZG, Raiders, number 1 King, 5 Mutants, and Alphaink as well. These are all very, not new teams, I would say. These
No.
are all veterans. If you haven't seen them here in the global or at least the bigger stage, it's because they haven't really been performing well enough to get here. But for now though, these are the teams that will be making there. And for now, if you're looking over here, here's the point system, right, Danny?
Yes, so we've got the point system. It's standard across the board. I think everyone has been competing with the same system in their regional leagues. First place, if you manage to get the booyah, you've got 12 whopping points. Each kill is also going to equate to 1 point. And it also depends on playstyle, right? Because some people put more emphasis on trying to get the booyah. Other teams like to put emphasis on kills. But I think the general consensus among the casters and some of the talent is that kills tend to be a much more reliable way of securing points compared to placement, because unfortunately some teams are just going to get eliminated first up, and if you don't get any kills before you get knocked out, you're going home with nothing, or at least you're ending that round with nothing.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Especially with 6 games, you don't want to end any of those matches with 0.
Right, so the other thing about this point system is very much snowbally, I believe. So it does put you in a position where you have to be not in the lead, but to actually be consistently performing. But for now though, before we get into that, here's the game schedule for today. We're gonna start off today, game 1 at Bermuda, heading over to Kalahari on map number 2, and game 3 we'll be going over to Purgatory, and we're gonna do it all over again. So we've seen during our times before this, there are some teams that perform better in maps like Bermuda and Purgatory, and there are other teams that perform better in Kalahari. But the general consensus is that Kalahari is the hardest map to navigate. But I did do an interview with Blacklist International, and surprisingly their answer was Kalahari is actually okay. Our not favorite map is actually Purgatory, which is definitely a first for me.
It's actually pretty interesting, right? Because generally speaking, teams find Bermuda and Purgatory a little bit easier because the map layouts are pretty much the same, right?
Yeah.
It's rather flat. You've got a couple of vertical surfaces to work with, but not to the same degree as Kalahari, where you're looking at a lot of just dead off cliffs, and you have to make use of the grapple, or you have to try and get to the center of the zone before the competition. But I suppose, speaking of competition, we're just going to take a look very quickly at some of the teams competing in the tournament as well. We've got Desi Gamers on the screen representing India, and then for us, we're very familiar with this team, Supreme Assault Forces coming in as well. Tash, I'm very sure we're almost sick of saying their names because they did so well during their league.
Yeah, so we have also here 5 Mutants from Pakistan. This is going to be my first time actually casting for them. This is going to be really, really exciting, and have no chance as well coming over from Pakistan as well. So I'm more, as far as I know, I'm more familiar with the MCP region. So seeing this whole new stage over here, especially from Thailand as well, we have CZG Raiders as well. We have Patrick, SS Ming, Salif return, as well as Nikki on the screen, and King of Gamers KOG as well from Thailand. So you did mention, Danielle, that Thailand is definitely a region to be feared. Actually, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But we also must look out for Chinese Taipei as well. Number 1 King also looks extremely strong right now. And you know, we've seen some of the players from there as well. They've done some pretty insane plays. So we also have from Chinese Taipei Epic as well, Lai Bin Liam, PCW, as well as HQ Esports from Vietnam. There's Funkim, Neo Now, Artemis, Tyson, and Nunk.
Man, I'm actually really looking forward to today because we've got some really strong competition. Speaking of competition, we have got a Wolf here representing Vietnam as well. I have to say, some of these teams, I mean, looking at their pictures, they look like they mean business. And whoa, Tash, we have stats. Hang on, we've got some really important stats, and I think this is something that we're going to have to make the most of, because firstly,
look at the head stats though.
Let me tell you something very quickly, okay? So King of Gamers, for anyone that tuned in to last year's Free Fire esports scene, especially in Asia, King of Gamers is a team that you want to watch out for. They are super aggressive. They are not scared to take those engagements. And as you can see, they've got a massive advantage in terms of the headshots. And I mean, just look at the comparison between Kevin 59 and Neo Now, right? It's like 1.5 compared to 0.4 average headshot. But okay, we do have a little bit of a difference. We're gonna ignore the final rank and Booyah because average kills, interestingly enough, is actually in favor of Neo Now.
Yeah. Actually, when you think about it that way, there are moments where headshots matter, but sometimes when you put in team efforts as well as TTK, right? Sometimes you do have moments where you just want to be able to get those that damage. It doesn't matter if it's a headshot or not. If you are putting in the damage, they are definitely gonna drop. Sometimes, not necessarily if you get a headshot, you're just gonna be like, headshots are definitely harder for sure, but securing kills, even with the body shot, I think is more important. But for now though, this is local finish though between these two teams, local final here, where we have an average headshot of 2.7 against 1.3 from No Chance, and you can see the average kills from No Chance is actually a lot higher. You have 4.5 to 3.3. So God of Wolf, Mr. 07 versus Shira 2K8. Look at the headshots from Shira though, only 0.2, and we can tell he's not going for the hit. That's not his thing. He knows that he's gonna miss, he's gonna whiff, so what do? You hit the body part that's easier to get, which is the torso. So look at this kill star, 1.8 to 1.4, still a close number, 0.4% difference only. And look at the damage though, 1090 to 1014 on both sides, very, very close. You have 2 booyahs from No Chance to 1 on the other side.
So just seeing the stats, I feel like this is also giving us a bit of a glimpse as to what to expect for the tournament, right? And something we need to take note of is the damage that these teams are dealing and the headshots, because some people are thinking like, oh, is it better to have higher headshots but less damage? Technically, no. Okay, because what's end up happening is teams that actually have low headshots but high damage, it means that the teams generally fare well in close quarter combat, right? Because in close quarter, headshots, yes, they're cool and all, but essentially you want to be hitting them as much as you can. Headshots are more important, I feel, for long range, right? When you're trying to get those pickoffs, when you're trying to deny people from coming into the circle, or trying to at least eliminate the competition as they're trying to find a safe area. So it makes you wonder, or at least for me anyway, Tash, what's the meta going to be like for the tournament, right? Is it going to be mostly close quarter, or is it going to be range? Because I know for Malaysia, we've actually been, I'd say, half-half, right? We haven't really had a solid meta to say that it's only close quarter or it's only range. It's just been both.
I wouldn't say that per se. I think for long range, it would more likely to happen in either Bermuda or Kalahari. Bermuda because the map is bigger, Kalahari is because of the terrains. But looking at it this way though, for close quarter, it comes down to teams holding on to a compound, and then you have the teams just running into the area and getting those fights. I think that's the most likely way where CQC would happen. But when you look at times where you do get picks, right, it happens in 2 ways though. It depends on the strats or the meta the team goes to. We have some teams such as Blacklist International where we have the player playing support in the back, playing sniper all the way from the back, and then we do have the rushers coming in first. It can be either 2 rushers or 1 rusher, and we also have another person scouting from the back as well. So sometimes we have a player that have high headshots. It's most likely because they are playing a double sniper, or at least they are playing sniper as support. They are giving that cover fire to their teammates to make sure that they can safely rush forward. Either that, or the rusher is putting in a lot of damage, and all that these supports or snipers have to do is to make sure they can clean up after their teammates. So those are the most likely sort of metas we've seen here in MCP. But when we come to moments where we talk about, those moments like, in not outside of MCP in general, like Pakistan, Taipei, and all that kind of stuff, I'm not too sure about the meta, and it's gonna be a real treat to see how these MCP region players want to play around this.
Yeah, speaking of, it looks like the game has begun. So for people that are just tuning in, we're going to be starting off the day on Bermuda, and most importantly, we're going to have to try and see where everyone is going to drop, right? Because there are 2 ways you can go about this. You can try and drop by yourself. If you see the competition,
oh my
go away.
God,
But,
Danny!
Yeah,
this is an early fight! Look at this. We have KOG already on the aggressive to one of team over that side. They're rushing in, not a kill yet, but one has been knocked down. We have Jalax no kill already. Getting a knockout to another one. That team is struggling, but SES already out. And that's just how fast they're gonna do it.
They've just eliminated probably one of the teams I was looking at. I was looking at King of Gamers and I was thinking this is a team that we're gonna have to look out for, but they literally got caught with their pants down. It ended up being a race with them to try and actually loot before SAS, but they only had one play. I believe only one player had a gun. And so when you're at such a disadvantage in terms of loot, you are gambling. And unfortunately, they lost that gamble. So King of Gamers, they're going to end the round with no points at all. They end in last as well. It's going to be a tough road for them to try and make it to top 2 in the group, but unfortunately, we're just going to have to say sayonara to King of Gamers. But we do have other teams to look out for, Tash. We're taking a look at five mutants here, Harshu's point of view, and there are quite a number of players in the vicinity, although it looks like, I believe that's God of Wolf, they have left the area. But, oh, McRory, are you alone?
Alright, so for now though, we already see McRory is actually all alone. When you think about it, you know, for the side of SAF, we've seen McRory always like to play alone. He is a team scouter, and that information he gets, yes, it is a very high risk, high reward sort of play, but knowing where all the teams are gives this invaluable information for his team, and this really helps them in terms of rotations. But on the first match though, I am not surprised to see that these teams are already dropping next to each other. For now though, this is Neo now dropping a nade down, and for now it doesn't hit one of the teammates, but Artemis already gets a knock onto one player. Artemis finishes off Jiguang, and you can see there, this is definitely in the side of HQ. So for now though, Funky M has to help his teammate. 2 members down right now with NIK just playing up here, finishing off HQ, and they're using the players actually as bait.
It's working out for them too. N1K going to be eliminated with no kills as well. So that's our first 2 teams taken out. They have no points to their names. And HQ, they're going to end this with not only 4 kills, but they managed to keep their entire team for the remainder of the round. So this is going to be a huge motivational boost for HQ, and we're already starting to see a little bit of a meta sort of starting out with our first round, right, Tash? Yeah. We're seeing these teams, they're not afraid to drop on top of the competition. I do believe this is also them sort of scouting out the competition to see, okay, is this team comfortable fighting? Is this team strong? And I think we're already seeing who's confident in these skirmishes.
Actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I think it's because it's already pretty much predicted that these teams will have teams dropping next to each other, and the reason why is these teams can only go off of recordings and playstyles from different matches, and you know, depending on each game or each tournament, they may have a certain drop spot, and they're like, okay, we know that this person drops here, let's hope that this area is empty. But I guess in a way it didn't happen. So for now though, this is the first circle. It will be going to the left side toward the side of Clock Tower, and it will have 20% body of water. And you can see there, Sis as Ming, you can understand there that they're actually swimming over there.
They are swimming, Tash. Now, as you take a look at the map on the left side as of now, we're actually starting to see some of these teams move in towards the center of the circle. The northern side is rather empty. It seems that most of the teams, they have decided to occupy the southern side of the map, maybe thinking that the circle is going to end up being down towards that section. So we will start to see the circle move, and at this point in time, it's basically going to come down to whether these teams want to start to really push the aggression, or if it's going to be more of a placement game, because some teams are going to value placement over kills, because we have to consider, right, kills, as much as they can give you points early on, it's very risky to commit to those kills if you're not 100% geared up for them, because at the end of the day, you don't have information on a team's inventory, you don't know what they have in their back pocket, and you also most certainly do not know where their whole team is until someone scouted them out. But it looks like this map is already starting to get very crowded, because we have 4 teams in a small vicinity on the map, and this is only the first circle.
Alright though, right now we have CGOW already lost 1 player just now. It's always so unlucky when you lose 1 player so early, but we have seen situations, Natalie, that a team has actually just one player and managed to get it to the top 3. So right now, just now we did talk about, either is placements more important or is kills more important. I would say both, because there are situations, I mean, we've seen it during MCP, we've seen it during country finals, that there are these moments where players are, they do get out of the game early, or maybe at 5th place, 6th place, but they do get more points than people in 3rd place because the amount of kills they get. But there are other moments as well where they have a lot of kills, but they get knocked out early, they don't get enough points. Either way, to me though, if you are getting enough points, you are collecting, you're not getting out the lobby with less than 5 points, I think you're pretty much okay. So as I was saying earlier, it was already pretty much predicted that we are going to be seeing the teams drop off at the same spots because of the first day. They're not too sure where exactly is the safest, and I think as you said, Damley, they are kind of betting. They're like, okay, this team kind of doesn't really look too strong, so let's see what we can do about it. But for now though, this is TPE. And you can see there that he got some shots out, but the player is just playing very, very safe behind of the rock. And this is one of those moments where you can see that his teammates aren't too far away, but he is quite far away from his teammates. If something were to happen, and he is playing on the side of the hill, if someone were to come from the top side, and we all know, if you have high ground, you definitely have a huge advantage over your enemy.
I mean, I was looking at the positioning on the map, and I feel like they were trying to bait in because his team, they were sort of sprinkled in towards the side, right? So if they ran straight towards him, then they would be literally under fire because there was no cover if they tried to run towards them where the shots came in.
Inside a compound, I believe. He was out there all alone. And
we have
behind
a rock.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have seen moments where this thing happens, right? They bait, and then they accidentally, he accidentally starts a fight on his own. His teammates are baited into that fight at a disadvantage, and we've seen that happen so many times. So sometimes you could either be the bait to help your team, or you could be the bait that brings down your team. But for now though, this is the danger zone that you mentioned earlier, GOW playing inside there. Look at that, Rangers all the way outside there. He is not scared at all.
No, I think sometimes you just got to capitalize on the danger zone, right? Because you could just run away, but that's also leaving yourself open to getting backstabbed by somebody that could be that's already hiding under a compound and saying like,
Alex,
free food.
What? From where? I'm not sure who exactly is looking at, but we are seeing already kills over here. You can see there NC already though. He spots someone out there. I'm not too sure which team that is. He does drop some pot shots out, but not quite enough to do anything. But here is McRory. And he's still just lurky over here. He's just like, I'm gonna keep an eye on this team. He's not scared of anyone. And he's all alone, as the other members of SAF are just so far away. And I believe he's doing a 2x2 meta here. There's 2 SAF members. They're not too far away. And I think they're just trying to get as much information as possible. Oh, there it is! The beautiful headshot gets one down. And I think he'll be finishing off harsh, but I think Ignite tried, but not enough to save him off. But the kill actually gets picked off by another team.
I believe it was NC that managed to pick up that team. Tash, SAF, they only have 2 members left. It's only McRory and Daymoon.
Right, you're right. I didn't notice that.
It was a bit of a risky play. I was quite surprised to think that, only 2 players left and you still want to push the aggression. But it is McRory, right? This is someone that you can put your faith in. If you do want to try and get those pickoffs, I'd probably lean on someone like McRory.
Those picks, though. Are we surprised at this point?
No, not really, but it was very unfortunate that they weren't able to at least get the kill, right? Because it got sniped up.
I think because he had to back off and Ignite moved forward, kind of like body blocked the damage, so he wasn't really able to pick out anything. But for now, though, this is HQ Dyson. One good nade, though. I just really want to see that, but he's not doing that right now. And he's sort of just waiting over here. He's just waiting for his teammates. They're trying to bait something here, I believe.
No, I think they're scouting.
Yeah, they are scouting.
Look at the map, Tash. Okay, they're sitting in a triangle formation. So I think they're waiting to see where they exit, and then they might just try and surprise them. Because
that would be really cool, though.
Realistically speaking, how do you hit someone on the roof? Unless you get on top of the roof, right?
Oh, there's the hit, though. Artemis gets one. Thanos knocked down. The blue wall comes out, but there we go. He gets 2. They're just crawling for their life. He finishes them off. Is this the end for them? They're in trouble. What can they do?
It's only that one poor player left. It's Sauce. He's probably thinking, guys, what's going on? Where did everyone go?
No! So unlucky, but though, imagine if it was a nade kill. That would have been hilarious. For Ronaldo Neo now with
There
the
it is.
damage. Tyson though will finish him off as he has Joju. Oh man, not a great place for them to be.
No, it's not a good position for his team. Unfortunately, they won't get anything as well after that. Sometimes you don't really know, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're just scouting. HQ are happy with themselves though, Tash, because if you look at their score, firstly, they're leading in kills. 8 kills. They've eliminated 2 teams by themselves, and they still have a full roster. So, if anything, HQ are looking to be in a really fantastic position this game, because not only have they gotten all those kills, but remember, these teams that you're killing, you're getting their loot as well. So they're getting really, really
free
stacked.
grab delivery, daddy.
God.
free loot, just straight down to their doorstep. If you think about it,
You have to pay for premium for that delivery, Tash.
delivery. Okay? But for now, though, you notice that 2 teams actually occupying Clock Tower, and they have been here for quite some time, Danny. And I'm surprised that they haven't. I think there's a peace treaty going on for a while because they've been here a while. They haven't attacked each other at all.
I think that they're very aware that both of these teams are here. It's just, if you expose yourself first, you are putting yourself at risk of just being killed off easily, just for a chance to get that shot, right? So sometimes it pays to be stubborn and to wait for someone else to make the move so that you can position yourself in a more advantageous position to try and get one of those sneaky picks. So I don't blame the teams for not moving, because we've already seen a couple teams, just one mistake and the entire team gets eliminated. And unfortunately for, I believe the team name is God of Wolf, the top right-hand corner team, the blue team, they only have 3 members. So they're already at a numbers disadvantage this game.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of tight teams, so they're not scared at all of walking outside of the danger zone. I mean, you did highlight that earlier. We rarely really see this in MCP, if you remember. Most of them usually just either, if they're in there, they're just hunker out inside. But there is a reason, also another reason why they don't want to move outside of the area, because Clock Tower right now is the main area where the circle is. But if you look at it right now, it moved away from Clock Tower, as I was just saying that. And right now, the battle's already happening because everyone needs to move inside of the circle, and HQ though is the team right smack dab in the middle.
Oh, that was a beautiful grenade pick off onto Harshu, and he's going to be eliminated with the second grenade, and it looks like this might just be the end for 5MT. But OG, they're trying to look for kills themselves. DG, I believe, they've got 3 members alive. They're still coming in for the close quarter combat.
Whoa,
2 players are down.
Sniper!
Oh my god! They do have 5MT.
That was a very bad call though, but it's okay though because they'll be able to pick up their teammates. But what the heck was that though? OG though. Epic is just running away. They don't want to take this fight. They're just like, yeah, sayonara, my friends. We're gonna drive out of here with style. OG was like, let them. It's fine. It's fine. Oh no, I made a mistake. No, JV though with the sniper is putting a lot of damage there. One hit onto PCW, not enough to do anything just yet. The pan comes out though. You can see that he's just trying to run right now. But where he is though is kind of like a little bit
Tash, what's his positioning?
Side of the area.
What's his positioning for Epic? Yeah, look at Epic. They're spread out. So the first car actually kept going on. The second car with ENG and PCW, they actually stopped short. So the team is basically separated.
It's
2v4.
Yeah, it's a bad call though. Shira though playing around a Rosie against this little blue wall over here. He makes a little fort there, 110 little hole to play around, but NC Veggie77 though with the sniper gonna break him on this side. Shira needs some time to heal. You can see that he has 5 med packs in his pocket. He does have 4 grenades. The circle is getting close. He's stuck right now behind that blue wall. Everyone makes a run for it because right now it is phase 3 and you know how much damage they can do. Shira though, he does have the grenade launcher, but not quite enough to do anything with it. With the big advantage though, but you can see there, one player there, Psych, does get knocked. Epic just doing work. Shira, next one out. Veggie77 knocked down. You can see there, JV gets stolen from the other side thanks to a sniper.
Tash, I am actually really surprised at Epic's performance because this was a team that separated themselves, right? It was basically they had 2 members versus 2 full rosters. Not only did this team manage to eliminate one of these teams, but they have 3 members coming into this final circle.
Because they were sandwiched, but they were like, haha, you thought we were the middle of the sandwich. We were the side. We're playing on 2. We was all planned, my friend.
We were the bread.
Oh no, I can't believe you said that. But now though, they are coming here as a F though. How many yeah, let's talk a little bit about SAF. I mean, we've seen them during NCP majors, right? They are definitely a team that performed really well throughout, though. You can see that, but for now, let's keep a hold on that. Nikki in trouble. The grenade launcher comes out. He brings out the time turner. Blue wall comes out. They're just playing around and around the grenade. Oh my god, I'm surprised! Yes, he does blow him up, unfortunately, for now, though. GOW hurt and wants a piece of the action. More
Ranger?
GLW is out. I'm just like, what? How?
Oh, it was all up to Ranger. I mean, he was the only one alive. The rest of his team, they just got shut down with all those grenades. So SYZ can be pretty happy with themselves. Tash, we have so many teams alive. SAF been very quiet up until this point, but we know this is a team that plays late game, Tash. We know this. So we're going to have to watch this. But the problem is, can they out late game HQ? Remember, this is a team. They've got 9 kills on the board right now. They are fully equipped, full roster. I think if anything, they're probably the best chance of getting this booyah right now, Tash.
Yeah, they are definitely smart. But Daemoon, though, gets 1 kill. There's Epic, the end of that. And I think SAF is a team that is just way too smart. They always play placements and kills come secondary. For now, though, HQ, we have 3 teams left. 8 still alive.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
He got that knock. That was crazy.
Artemis actually got the knock onto McRory as well, so Daemoon's trying to get this res off. If they can't get McRory up, I don't think SAF have a chance, because McRory, he is their shot. He's the big shot for the team.
Yeah, right now Daemoon does take a little bit of damage from Artemis, but they'll be guarding for cover. But for now, McRory, though, Tyson, again, we have talked about Tyson's shots. They are just so sharp, so spicy. I don't want to mess with him. For now, time turner comes out from Neo now. Neo now running from his life, but will be shot from the back.
Oh, we got some grenades coming in though, cooking up. Oh goodness, Tash. Do you think they're going to be able to do this though? It's only Return. He's the only player alive for SYZ.
Yeah, that's right. He will take that damage, but not enough. Half HP left, 85 HP. The shotgun comes out, but SYZ gets eliminated, and there it is, our first booyah of the day. Well, very frickin' done to HQ. We've seen from the beginning all the way till the end. This is a team that is just so confident in taking team fights, not afraid to just go into the fight.
I think at this point we just have to say, if there's a team you're going to look out for, it's probably going to be HQ.
I mean, okay, so usually for game 1, we will see teams like this. There are those moments where we have these random teams just do well in game 1.
Yes.
Think of it as a car, you know, kind of like...
bliss. After seeing these guys play just now, I don't think this was a fluke. I don't think this was luck.
I don't think it was a fluke for sure.
No.
I don't think it was luck either. But they were definitely more ready to adapt, more ready to go into a fight. There are some teams that are late bloomers, you know, they only come strong in game 3 to game 5. But as you mentioned, Danielle, we only have 2 days of play-ins. Like it or not, your engine has to be oiled and on the ready like now.
Well, we've also seen situations where, as you said, right, some teams are late bloomers, some teams are early bloomers. So is this going to be a case with HQ as well, where they have maybe HQ. One? Yeah, like
no, please don't.
No.
It's not that. I'm just saying that with the amount of kills they got and plus the booyah placement, that puts them way ahead, which is already a pretty, it's a big advantage. And you know, like it or not, I know some people say it's okay, it's just the first game is when, you know, people get acquainted, they get to know each other, but sometimes, especially on 2 days sort of times, you really need to be thinking about, you know, it's just 2 days. We don't have time to be playing it slow. We don't have time to be doing that. Play your best every round. I mean, a lot of teams will be playing to win though, but sometimes, you know, there are some silly mistakes. I mean, we did see them just now.
I'd say those mistakes, it's probably also just because you get those, I like to call them game 1 shivers, right? It's like you have that. Yeah, so I mean that's when you're playing cold and you're coming into a tournament, or even just if it's a rank match. For me, it's a rank match because heaven forbid I actually played competitive to some degree. But you're gonna get the shivers and you're gonna have adrenaline, and you don't think clearly, unfortunately, when you get those jitters. But it does get better as you continue on, right? Because you're playing with the jitters and you have better control over it. So. The question is, did some of these teams get the jitters? Did some of these teams just get... I mean, it's not... I honestly believe we could have seen King of Gamers be a big threat this match, but because they just got eliminated during the first round, they've got to be thinking, are they going to gamble against another team? Like, next time if they're dropping somewhere and they see another team dropping in the same area, do they just hightail it with their tail between their legs? Because you can't afford, especially for the teams that got knocked out early with no kills, can you afford to try that again?
Yeah, look at, I mean, Artemis though, I mean, when you think about it like that, right? Just now, they were not only fast on their feet. One thing about, you know, drop fights is that the first team to get a weapon will be the team that wins, and that's definitely going to be HQ just now. Look how fast one member got a gun, the others just kept the others, you know, very, very distracted, and he just played cleanup. But when you look at Artemis in general though, 1,500 damage for 6 kills is insane. I'm not sure if he played one sniper or a double sniper or a mix, but I'm pretty sure it was a double sniper. And it's actually so insane how fast his reaction time was when he was actually aiming for those shots. I mean, we've seen some pretty insane ones here in MCP as well as FFMC, but this is a whole nother level when you see how fast he reacted during team fights, especially when his team was actually sandwiched.
Actually, speaking of long range, right, we're already seeing a lot of teams really utilize that long range today, right? We didn't see too much in terms of close quarter combat. It was mostly long range, just getting those pickoffs from teams, trying to run into the circle, catching teams with their pants down. I think the best situation was, I don't think it was HQ, it was a different team, where they had the triangle formation, two teammates on the roof and 2 teammates outside of the perimeter, and they basically just shot the competition down from long range. I mean, what do you really do for that? So is this really going to be what we're seeing today? Most of the teams going for these long range pickoffs, or are we going to see the resurgence of close quarter that was so dominant, especially towards the middle section of last year?
Middle and the last moments. I think that's where CQC becomes very, very apparent, especially with the glue walls. For now though, we can see there, these are the game kill leaders where it's the 2 players on top is actually HQ. We have Artemis with 6 and Thyson with 5. And Return comes in 3rd with 4 kills, and these are definitely what I can say is that these players are just going for it. They're not just going for placements, they are going to make sure that they have a backup. Their backup, at least their plan B, is to get kills. And from what I can see here, from how they play, especially from HQ from the beginning, they are going on the aggressive. I think this is a team that is prioritizing kills as opposed to SAF, how they always play. And I think I'm still seeing the same thing where they are just playing for placements. They try to survive for as long as they can. They don't really get kills until toward the last bits.
Yeah, that is true. So I think at this point in time, HQ going to be dominating the competition.
Holy crap, that's almost 10 difference.
It's almost 10 difference. I'm just wondering what's going to be happening for the next round, because we're also going to be playing on a different map, Tash. We're playing on Kalahari, and Kalahari plays out so much more differently compared to Bermuda, because firstly, the map is huge. You've got a lot of vertical surfaces, and probably one of the most difficult things about Kalahari is that you actually don't have a lot of cover to work with. You can find compounds, really, but when you have to try and leapfrog from compound to compound, there are moments where you're just completely exposed. Exactly. Yes. So are we still going to see this domination from HQ? Because their playstyle, I feel, from last game would really complement Kalahari, because they didn't really work with compounds. They were more of a hit and run team. They were just searching for kills like a bloodhound.
Yes, I can definitely see that now that you've mentioned it. Also, when you think about Artemis as well as Thyson, who are both using snipers, definitely something that we can say it will really work out for Kalahari, especially for picks. But one thing about Kalahari though, luck does play not really a huge part, but pretty big. When you think about it again, sometimes you think you have the high ground, right? And then suddenly the circle moves down to another area. How are you going to get down fast enough? Are you going to get shot as you jump down? That's also going to be another problem. So it does come down to how good your circle prediction is going to be as well, other than your team fire. But it is very interesting how it's going to be. Congratulations to HQ for getting the first booyah. But when you think about it, let's talk a bit about other teams as well. I'm not really sure. I mean, you did mention from Vietnam, Burst the Sky was a team that you were really
I do believe they're not in this group.
Yeah, they're not in this round yet. So I'm just trying to figure out how HQ will be able to handle, BTS.
The other competition?
Yes.
To be fair, if they can keep going on with this momentum, if they get to play their own style of Free Fire, then they're probably going to be looking to be one of the more stronger teams coming into the competition. I mean, this is something that we see in every region. Any team that is allowed to play their game, where they dictate where the fights happen, they dictate where they can loot, where they can't loot, and basically their presence is enough to scare some of the other teams away, then it's just going to be such an easy road to being one of those final teams. Yes, maybe under some circumstances they don't get the booyah, but if you can consistently control the game just because you exist, I think it's just going to be a very easy road for the team. And we're already starting to see like HQ, that's what happened during the first game.
Really not only control the flow of the game, they demanded the control of the area, and on top of that, where they were, their circle prediction was just something else. When everyone was just at clock tower, they were already at the hangar, and they were the first team inside. I'm not sure where they got the circle from. Shopee, Lazada, Amazon, not too sure where they bought those circles from, but that was insane prediction. No other team predicted that side.
Free Fire is a game of luck, right?
Yeah,
like sometimes you
for sure.
think you know where the circle's going to be, and then it's not there. And I mean, we've seen it at MCP, right? Like you can see some teams, they're trying to make that final circle prediction, and then you see the final circle, and you could imagine everyone on that team just face palming, synchronized face palming because they just didn't get the correct prediction.
Wait, we're seeing two teams drop at the sub. It's SYZ and NIK. The damage already. Wangzi, the first one to get knocked down. Rochan follows back. See how fast SYZ just gets the damage, and first blood goes to Patrick. Now he's running off, trying to help his teammate. He already has 2 weapons. Kill leader first one will be SYZ. Holy moly, another one. There you go, Wangzi now out as well. I think Wangzi only has 1. Yeah, Fatbur is the only last one alive.
No, there's 2 players.
2 players, Jiguang as well.
Yes, so at least Jigong is going to be able to get out of there for now. Unfortunately, he might run into McRory, but we'll check on him a little bit later. But I mean, this is going to be a really tough way to start the round, right? You drop in with another team, and you are effectively getting out with, at this point, I'm going to have to say only 1 player is getting out of there, because you can see SYZ, they're probably thinking, there's a free kill down there. We're going to finish him off as well.
Yeah, as well. Jiguang all alone. He can't get to his teammate at all. Fatbur has to hide underneath the sub. And I think SYZ, though, they don't know that he's there because they saw Jiguang running away. And I'm not sure where Jiguang is going to go in order to loot. He has a little area there, but I'm not sure if there's a lot of loot in the area. You can see there where the other teams had dropped. You can see HQ dropped at Mammoth, and Epic actually dropped at the Maze. NC though takes the refinery, and over at the Foundation is 5MT.
Yes, we are starting to see a little bit of a change here, right, Tash? It's not like
that's the
Bermuda...
only team that dropped at the same spot, if you notice.
Yes. Yeah, so in Bermuda we saw multiple teams drop in on the same spots to try and contest for drops as well as get those kills, but to be fair, Kalahari, it's a bigger map.
Oh, they found him. Press F in the chat, my friends. That's not a great way to go.
It's okay. Jigong's still alive. He could be the
Just
savior,
stay
right?
quiet. Just get the placement points. You don't necessarily need the kills. As I said before, if you're going back to the lobby with at least some points, be it placement or 1 to 3 kills, I think you're pretty much safe. So long as you don't go back with a 0.
Yeah. Actually, looking at how CZ's running, I'm not sure if they're thinking maybe they're missing somebody. Maybe they didn't see Jigong run away.
I think they did. I think they did because he was quite out there in the open, but he did not shoot at him. But for now, though, this is HQ. They actually dropped side by side with Epic. We saw Epic. They played quite well as well just now in terms of firepower. But how HQ had dropped down, though, they are playing a 1-1-1. They're quite scattered apart. They are trying to cover a lot of areas to loot as fast as they can. High risk, high reward, but I think they're very confident in their gunplay.
I'm not just confident in their gunplay as well, but I guess it's also their pathing. I mean, the entire team is completely separated. And if they can do this unpunished, huge reward for the team, right? Because you are not contesting for drops with your own teammates. You're able to individually get yourselves equipped for that later stage of the game. So, I mean, for HQ, they're getting away with it so far. No one has been punished. No one's been spotted. Although Neo now might be able to scout out Epic for his team, unless it's the other way around.
I think he does know from there, but Lam is all alone the other side. I think he definitely hears him. Oh, he saw him. He's playing it safe, gonna be running away for his life.
Jumps down the side.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best way to get cover though. Liam knows his teammates are like, hey, I found someone over here. Let's go find him. There we go. Epic Liam running toward Neo now.
Is that a trap?
And I think, I'm not too sure, but it might just be. There we go. The damage comes in there. And one player is out. Epic Liam will be the one getting punished for this. Oh my god. But for now though, Nick will be the first team out. There we go. HQ just too good.
HQ too good, and Epic is sticking around though. So Liam, he's not dead. Oh, the grenade! Is it gonna land onto Ung? Oh, that's a beautiful glue wall. Oh, that was so close. If that glue wall did not go down, that would have been an easy knockdown on
Yeah, for now you can see there a push coming in from HQ. Epic does throw in some shots. They're not too sure where exactly they are from how they are shooting. Funky though, there's a bit of a jump, trying to get some information. They can't really see where the other members are. But Epic though, you can see that they are retreating back into the area of the maze. They don't want to take this fight. They know they are outnumbered, and they know that HQ really performed. But it looks like HQ wants to chase, or they just want this area. I'm not too sure right now.
I am such a big fan of HQ's playstyle right now. So not only are they able to get away with looting separately as a team, but the fact that they were able to scout out and bait with now, it was ballsy. But
I thought he was gone!
You thought he was gone, Tash. But it looks like they're actually going in for another engagement here, Tash.
Yeah, it looks like that, but I think they are actually taking, they are going on aggressive. They want those kills. PCW in trouble, but Tyson gets his kill. They want to finish off PCW. Epic though should have thought twice. They thought they were being smart. They thought they're getting a pick, but it's not happening. And there we go. Free loots for everyone. You get a loot, you get a loot, and you get a loot. And a free motorcycle too, why not?
So I do believe there's one person left alive on Epic. They're not here. They literally just booked it. So
they're like, the teammate were like, go, my brother. Don't wait for me. Go.
I will sacrifice myself. It's a very sad story.
Oh, there you go, Ian.
Oh no, you're okay.
He's far away. He's far away. He's fine though. But you can see some damage though coming from the side of OG. What's going on there?
Yeah, so it seems like DG are actually in a little bit of a gunfight with somebody, but we can't see who it is on the screen as of yet. But HQ are in the vicinity, so if DG actually decide to shoot anything at this point in time, they're going to give away their position, and then knowing HQ, right, they go where the gunfights are. So if they hear anything, that's easily going to be an engagement. Anyways, taking a look at the other side of the map, CZY is actually going to be going up against God of Wolf.
Oh my god, that's not good. Nikki though will be going because they are actually taking this fight inside of danger zone. GOW playing is playing from the inside of a compound though. You see there's some shots come out. Nikki though nearly gets knocked down. The time turner comes out, giving him some cover. Will be running inside. Inhaler gets popped out. GOW evil style gets just pushed back. You see 3 down. Now protect Zero. Ranger's the only one alive. They are looking for him. Ranger, what are you gonna do? SYZ is coming for you. Grenade comes out, comes inside, but they will be eliminated. SYZ once again, 8 kills already. That's 2 teams out.
That was such a good push coming in from SYZ. It was hilarious. But it did lock down 2 members of GAW into an animation. And unfortunately, when you're locked in the animation, you can't defend yourself. You're free kill. You've also taken damage at the same time. So SYZ, these guys are also the kill leader, Tash. So this is going to be another team that we do need to keep our eyes on as this game progresses.
This is deja vu. From game 1, we saw HQ do it. And now SYZ was like, huh, we can do it too? This is the same thing that happened to HQ though. Think about it.
And this playstyle as well, these 2 teams, I feel like they also play very similarly in that they are the ones to encroach on their enemies. When in most cases, you normally only fight teams that you accidentally run into. This is 2 teams that have been looking and smelling for blood.
I'm surprised. I'm really surprised because usually when we look at MCP, the teams that do really well like SAF, they love playing third party. They're just waiting for the fights and just pick offs. But these are teams just aggressively going into each other. We haven't seen any team actually play the third party strat just yet.
I think it's because we haven't had the chance to, right? Like the fights don't go long enough for a team to potentially get a third party in.
Yeah,
because
true.
the fights have been so fast. But as we can see on the screen right now, Tash, we've got our next location for our circle, and it's going to be in favor of the teams that are currently sitting under the danger zone. So HQ, they are basically on the edge. They don't really have anyone to contest with, but okay, they could be gatekept by DG, but at the end of the day, it also depends if DG are able to get those shots in.
Yep, that's right. You can see their KOG. This is a Thai team. They don't have any kills just yet, but they are playing it real safe. And I feel like they are just trying to take over the refinery. They know that NC is in the area. They want to be able to take that. But this is SYZ once again. They, despite all those fights they're taking, they're still managing to hold on as a team with 4 players, and they're all very, very kitted up. And HQ as well. HQ this time around though, only with 3 this time around. And I think it's because where they dropped in their rotations, they're not running into any teams.
Speaking of not running into teams, Tash, we might actually see a little bit of action soon. I do believe five mutants, I think they might have vision on HQ. But the question is, do they also see DG? Because DG are on the other side on a separate platform, but no one's shooting. It's like they're waiting for the circle to get really close, and then they'll show themselves.
Yeah, that's right. But for now, though, this is DG. This is DG Desi Gamers. We haven't really seen them in action so much. I think it's just so unlucky right now. But they will be playing the side of this terrain, and they're playing it really smart. Look how they're hugging the terrain. It's because they don't want to get seen by the UAVs, number one, and they don't want to be shot. They don't want to get shot from the top. But what's really interesting to me is that when you see this kind of games, usually when you look at MCP, right, you see teams just quickly scrambling for the high areas, the high grounds, which is honestly, I think that's honestly the best way to go about it, because you'll be able to easily get picks. But this time around, though, we're not really seeing teams quickly run up to the high grounds.
No, and I feel like the reason for that is that high ground, in theory, is the best place to be, right? Because you get vision on everybody. It's very hard to actually...
Wait! Grenade comes out. Does it blow them out, please? Oh, it doesn't quite hit. They're still hiding right behind
they've got
that.
multiple grenades.
How many? They're making it rain, but just that one ignite will be knocked down. They are running for their lives. Will they finish him off? No, I highly doubt it. The blue wall comes out though, but the ones that will be attacking will be KOG from the bottom. They were already ready for them. Just not a great place for them to be. They thought they were being smart hiding from the UAV though, but 2 teams get into them. 1 player is already out. The other one, Harsh, is in trouble. He's just hiding behind a little corner over there. But the teams that will be coming out, he's jumping out. Shira playing on the aggressive, takes some damage. Why did you?
I think he didn't mean to jump on the edge. Oh, that looks like a miss. That's clearly a misplay.
That was a horrible misplay. How?
I'm very sure he didn't mean to go over the edge. Mistakes happen, Tash. I mean, I was telling you the jitters. It's the jitters, Tash, I'm telling you. Oh dear.
So painful. I wouldn't want to be them, but now NC though, only with 3 KOG though, will be the one to finish off GGE. Plus an extra kill on the side from NC. Harsh all alone, hiding in the corner over there. You can see there another player has been knocked out of the game.
It's actually Epic. So you know how Epic only has 1 player left. He's actually going up solo against SES. And he's able to get the knock by himself. So here we go. So you can see on the map, Epic, that's the last remaining member. It's EO. He was able to fend off SAS himself, interestingly enough. But the question is, how much longer is he going to be able to survive for? Because this team got butchered early game.
Oh my god,
and he might be dead now.
He's so low. He has the walls out. He's taking just too much damage, and just damage from the blue zone as well as that. Just too much. He can't do anything. But for now, if you see the circle, it's actually ping-ponged to the right side, to the bottom side of the refinery. The ones inside a team is just SES, NC, and KOG. And we're seeing already, I think they're actually moving along each other. They're very, very aware. But 5MT, though, will be attacking DG. Brian Yu.
Oh, Tash, we have a 3-team party right above the next circle.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna see that, but 1 DG member already out as well. But look at SAF, the 1 kill already secured. Let's go a little bit low here, just gonna heal. They are gonna aggressive, and the thing is, oh, do they know that they're going against HK? That's the craziest part. HK in trouble, playing the side of the train, have to move down though, but McGlory just chunking just so much damage onto those blue walls. They're just dropping as many blue walls as they can just to stay alive.
I mean, it's paying off. You really, really do not want to drop here because you've got no cover to work with. Remember, Tash, this is Kalahari. You are going to have almost nothing to work with unless you have a compound set. And the fact that they put all those blue walls down, SAF, they thought it was safe, but look at what's happening. They're getting picked off by HQ.
Oh yeah, they had no choice. They had to move in because the circle was just coming in, and they are being punished for it. They actually took the first shot. They thought they could eliminate HQ, but HQ, though, they turned the tables, and that was it for them. Perhaps if they were a little bit more patient, or at least didn't show their position, maybe they would be able to come inside. But for now, though, SAF does take 8th place, and HQ does have to take this fight against SYZ because they will be keeping this team.
Oh, and take a look at where the circle is now. This is a low ground circle. So teams that are currently on the high ground, they have to start making their way down right now, because if they don't, they're going to miss the shot. They're going to be stuck in an animation lock and take damage as they drop down the cliff. So the thing is, if you're on the high ground, you have to get these kills now, because if you don't get them now, I think it's it. So for 5 mutants, you've got to get your work done right now. For NC, DG, and SES, you can see these guys, they're actually trying to rush as many kills as they can on that high ground before they try and go down, because positioning-wise, King of Gamers, looking great. SYZ, also great. And HQ, again, on the low ground. This team...
Walid, though, look at that damage. He's pushing it, but they have to go. They're outside of the circle. But for now, though, 5MT, they are just trying to put in as much damage to HQ as they can. KOG as well, safe at the bottom. They are just going to rush into SYZ. They are fighting behind those blue walls for now, though, but NC will be knocked out. But for now, though, that's a quadra kill for HQ Taisan. For now, though, Taisan still not done yet. Knocks down all that damage. 5MT also out. HQ, you are just making work out of everyone.
And it's also going to be down to Tyson and Neo now to actually try and finish this match for the team, because unfortunately they did lose 2 team members. But Tash, is it going to be HQ? Is it going to be King of Gamers? Who's going to get the second booyah?
Alright, let's see how HQ is played. And Neo now trying to play from flank, will be coming in from the side, though does take a little bit of damage. Oh, grenade comes out, but Neo now in trouble. Tyson play from side. He does have a sniper out. He has to play from distance. We all know that short range is just too hard for them. But now the Tyson taking in the damage. I don't think he wants to die out here. There we go. HQ now out. Booyah number 2 does not go to HQ, but instead goes to KOG. And that's really, really interesting how it works. The thing is, HQ was just taking too much damage, took too many fights, lost 2 members too early. They don't have the numbers to go against KOG.
Yeah, I think if they didn't lose, it was Neo now, right? That just got hit with the grenade.
Neo now and him, there were only 2 players left. Neo now tried to play the flank, was trying to see if he can get as many kills as he can from that side, but unfortunately he did get noticed. And I'm not surprised though, he was playing at the bottom side. But for now though, King of Gamer Club, congratulations. It was very interesting to them play, but the thing is, KOG though, if you see them play, they didn't take unnecessary fights. This is a team that definitely, I wouldn't say passive, but they are playing for placements for sure.
Well, they have to, because remember, King of Gamers, these guys got shut down during the last round. So for them to not only get the booyah, but also to get some of those consolation kills as well during this round, it's the much needed comeback kills and points they need to sort of make up for that terrible round 1. So King of Gamers, I mean, they did better this round. I wouldn't say this team played similarly to HQ, right? This was a much more passive team.
I think their playstyle is more similar to SAF, what we saw during MCP majors for sure. But we may see a change in playstyle because, as I said, we usually in round 1 we either see a team going so aggressive or we see a team playing passive. So I think this might be one of those times. Sometimes there are teams that play passive in the first 1, 2, 3 rounds because they just want to get points as they kind of figure out how they want to figure out their rotations, their drop spots, and how each team plays. But some teams like HQ though, they're like, we don't care. Let's just trash everyone. And they
look how you were just like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know there was a different word for that situation, but
what's
I know what you mean, Tash. No. I know you wanted to say something. Anyways, moving on. So we've already finished our first 2 games of the day, right? So we've done Bermuda, which is technically the smallest map in the pool. Then we've also finished Kalahari, which was the largest map in the pool. Now we're going to be finding that middle ground. Next is Purgatory. Something else we need to consider for Purgatory. What kind of a circle are we going to get? Because something that makes Purgatory a little bit more unique than Bermuda and Kalahari is that you sometimes get those river circles, and those can really
I was
mess
gonna
with
say,
teams.
I was about to say that I really want to see a river circle. I mean, I talk about this all the time. Like players, if they get water circles, they'll be like, oh, cursed. But for me, as a caster, as a viewer, I'm like, yes, make these players suffer.
Make them suffer. I don't know if they want them. I don't think they'll want you to cast them. I'll soften them up.
I mean, like, okay, so I don't know if you guys were following, if you guys were watching, Malaysia, a Malay stream from Malaysia. I am the caster that's definitely cursed. All the teams I support are the teams that will get knocked out. So you definitely don't want me to cast your games. You definitely don't want me to root for your team. But our king player for this time, though, will be JLX77. 3 kills, not as high as last game, but 481 damage for game number 2. Honestly, for this kind of, I wouldn't say that he has low kills or low damage. I think they are just playing it smart. They're not taking unnecessary fights. They're not putting as much damage as they can. If you look at how KOG fought just now when they went against DG, when they just waited for them to have a fight, I think these are more teams that are playing more for third-party strat, or only trying to take advantage of situations as much as they can, and I think that's a pretty good thing. So JLX definitely for sure, I think, is playing around how his team wants to play, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I think it's just a contrast as well to the playstyle contrast between the two teams. We saw HQ that was so dominant last round, and then you get King of Gamers. This wasn't a team that had the control of the game in their hands. They basically just played patiently. They were finding their openings. So it's, as you can see, right? Like if you're getting 3 kills with 481 damage, compare that to 6 kills last round with, I believe it was 1.4k damage. Like that's such a gap in terms
there's
of...
a reason though. They are looking for fights. 1 versus 1 as well. They're not third partying, and it does show a difference in playstyle. When you did talk about it, Danny, you said that kills from what you were talking about for the English panel, you guys agreed that kills do play a little bit more of a heavy role. But to me personally, it's about finding that sweet spot. And I think a lot of teams don't really find that, but for some reason though, I feel like HQ found that perfect secret sauce, for that.
I want to say it's probably the region. The fact that the region is so competitive that they're forced to play like this.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm going to take a look very quickly at our game kill leaders with Return.
Return again, making his...
He has returned.
And we're not seeing HQ, the same members for HQ, just Tyson and Artemis. This time around though, it will be Neo now, and I'm not surprised. We see Neo now playing CQC in that one. He was very aggressive. He was with the double... What's that weapon called? I forgot the name of the weapon, but yes, a double vector, that's the one.
Okay, there we go. I was wondering what weapon is changed on it. Oh goodness. But this is something that I find really interesting, Tash, because this is the second time that Return has returned to the leaderboard.
I mean, that's the reason why he's named Return. This is it.
Yeah, probably.
Exactly it.
But I feel like that's also a testament to how big of an influence he is for his team, because for your teammate to consistently be top of the kill board, like you already know that you have a lot of firepower to work with, and it's reliable firepower, right?
Yeah, that's right. This is the part where Shira messed up, dropped down. He was like, I'm alive, guys. Not really. He gets shot up from a side of KOG there. But honestly, I feel like definitely, these funny moments really make this tournament, I feel. Just gives that little breath of fresh air from all the serious fights, you know what I'm trying to say?
I don't know if the players see it that way. I mean, I could just imagine Shira like just dropping his phone, then he's like, alright guys, I'm done. Call me when the next game is ready.
I'm just gonna take a nap now. I'm gonna take a depression nap. That's what's gonna happen though. SES though, I feel like even though they took out 7th place, they actually were not bad at all.
Yeah, they did a reasonable job, but again, just like a lot of other teams this round, they're not in a very dominant position. They're definitely playing more for placement points. Actually, looking at how some of the teams played in this round, it feels like some teams have just conceded to the idea that HQ are going to be aggressively moving around the map, so some teams seem to just put more emphasis in placements in general.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad thing either, but KOG though will be the one taking first spot despite not getting the booyah with a total of 9 kills. 9 kills. Oh,
We
sorry.
have a tie.
Yeah, we do have a
Tash.
tie. Yeah, KOG will be getting the Booyah at 9 kills, 21-21. But SYZ and HQ, though, tied together. HQ with 9 kills and SYZ with 10. Very interesting how this goes. And DG as well, only with 5. You see that the rest are all just 1 kills each, with DGE, GOW, and N1K with 0 points. They have to do something. In my opinion, finishing a game with 0 is horrifying. If you at least go to the lobby with at least some points, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, at least you are moving forward. But the idea of being stagnant, especially in a 2-day sort of tournament, is very, very scary.
It is. And also we need to consider Tash as well, right? Like, who's going to be moving on from this group? Isn't it only the top 2, top 3? So
yeah, it's
essentially
top 2 from A, top 2 from B, and the third place will be the best of third place between A and B. So there's also, you also have to be keeping an eye out on the other group as well.
Yeah, so just looking at the standings right now, you would have to argue now, if you are sitting in 4th, maybe even 3rd,
yeah,
you have to stick your finger out for these next couple games.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
If King of Gamers drops this next game, or if DG mess up, they're going to lose their place. And you will not have a lot of room for error for these next upcoming games. You've got 4 games to go, which some people are thinking like, oh, that's a lot of games. It's not. Some of these games go by really quickly, and sometimes you're just hit with misfortune. You get knocked out early. You cannot loot because a team is contesting with your loot as well. We've seen it during the first round. We've seen it during the second round. So what's going to end up happening now onto Purgatory? Are teams going to just concede their drop locations now, just because we've seen some of these teams just get obliterated as soon as they drop?
I think they just need to be ready for those moments where someone runs into your area. What are you gonna do? You need a plan. I mean, when you think about it, like a lot of games, right? And especially Free Fire, it is a game of 4D chess. You have to be in a position to think, okay, what happens if someone crashes our drop spot? What happens?
Easy, Tash, easy.
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, it is what's going to happen. But for now, though, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to go to our third game, which is Purgatory. And we'll see you guys in a little while.
This November, we are very excited to announce a tournament dedicated solely to the Asia region. Free Fire Asia Championship, featuring professional local teams across Asia. A total of 31 top pro teams from 7 regional leagues will be competing to determine who is the best in Asia. Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia will each claim 5 spots in this competition, while India, Pakistan, Chinese Taipei, and the Malaysia, Cambodia, Philippines region each gets 4 slots. Free Fire Asia Championship will be held fully online in Battle Royale mode with 2 phases, play-ins and the grand finals. 7 local champions move directly onto the grand finals, and the rest will battle it out during play-ins for the 5 remaining spots. For play-ins, 24 teams will be split into 2 groups, A and B, based on the drawing results. Each group will have at least 1 and a maximum of 2 teams from each regional league. Group A matches will be held on November 20th, and Group B will have their matches on November 21st. Teams will be competing over 6 rounds across 3 maps, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. First and second seed from Groups A and B will advance to the final stage. The last slot will be awarded to the 3rd place team from either Group A or Group B, based on which team has accumulated more points in the play-ins. The finals will take place on November 28th, where the 5 teams from play-ins will then battle against the 7 local champions for the title of the best Free Fire squad in Asia. 12 finalists will compete together for 7 rounds in 3 available maps, with the last map being randomly picked. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for the latest news, and we'll see you soon.
I'm unconscious, ayy.
Menurut gua 3 negara yang kuat tuh ada Thailand, Vietnam, sama Malaysia. Karena mereka semua disiplin.
FFesports là sân chơi của Việt Nam, Thái Lan và Indo. Các nước còn lại không quan tâm.
अगर बेस्ट 3 घंटे की बात बोलूँ मैं एशिया चैम्पियनशिप में तो एक थाईलैंड हो गई, एक अपनी वियतनाम हो गई, इंडोनेशिया हो गई, क्योंकि बिकॉज यहाँ की टीमें वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन भी रह चुकी हैं और यहाँ काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस है, तो दैट्स व्हाई।
Theo mình, 3 quốc gia mạnh nhất đó là Thái Lan, Indo và Việt Nam. Thì Thái Lan và Indo đã từng vô địch thế giới.
ประเทศที่1ก็ไทยครับประเทศที่2ก็ไทย3ก็ไทยครับ
थाईलैंड, वियतनाम और फिलीपींस। फिलीपींस मुझे साफ बहुत पर्सनली पसंद है। थाईलैंड से किंग ऑफ गेमर और वियतनाम से HQ Esports।
คิดว่ามีทีมไทยกี่ทีมเข้าสู่รอบไฟนอลเหรอครับผมคิดว่าทีมไทยทุกทีมมีโอกาสเข้ารอบไฟนอลหมดเลยครับอยู่ที่จังหวะแล้วก็ทามมิ่งครับ
ทั้งหมด5ทีมครับทีมยืนไปแล้ว1ทีมเพราะว่าทีมไทยเก่งทุกทีมครับ
Menurut aku Thailand pantas mendapatkan 5 slot tersebut karena mereka menjuarai di turnamen sebelumnya.
Mình nghĩ là không, vì chưa chắc biết được điều gì. Tại vì ở chung kết thế giới thì đã có một đội tuyển ở Thái Lan rất là mạnh và họ đã bị rớt lại khỏi chung kết.
मुझे नहीं लगता FFSC के फाइनल में थाईलैंड की 5 टीमें होगी।
कवर करना जरूरी है, लेकिन यहाँ पर ग्रेनेड काम आएगा, बिल्कुल काम आया, काम किया, कीड़ा, उधर ग्रेनेड, टीम से शट डाउन, टीम आउट ऑफ द
Menurut gue sendiri, tim Indonesia yang akan lolos itu insya Allah 5-5-nya bisa lolos karena udah ketahuan dari meta kita dan tim Indonesia emang kuat banget.
Việt Nam sẽ có 3 đội tham dự vào chung kết. Gao và Heavy sẽ đi tiếp. HQ và Bốc không có cửa.
Vị trí của Mr. 07 đang rong rồi, chiếc xe và mục tiêu anh ta hướng tới là Bird the Sky. Phía này Bell đang lo vào tầm ngắm. Góc cua này đâm được Bell và tiếp tục dí theo Mr. 07 đang có tầm bắn là quá tốt. Bật hào quang hộ mạnh chui ra giữa đội hình của Bird the Sky và không có bất kỳ một cửa nào dành cho DQS cùng với Cassin. Có thể tiến công vào vòng bo, cả Mr. 07 ném thêm một quả đầu đạn và đó là quét sạch Bird the Sky chỉ trong một tình huống mà thôi.
So here's the thing. Welcome back to the broadcast, folks. We were unfortunately muted because we were so excited we forgot to unmute our microphones, but that's
You mean
okay.
you?
Dash.
You mean you?
No, apparently you were as well.
No,
Broadcast
I was
told me,
not.
They said both. They said both. Anyways, so I wanted to sort of go off onto the whole discussion for what you ended with just before we went on to break, right? It's like, how do you wrestle control from some of these teams that are super aggressive?
Yeah.
And you cut me off, and I was so ready to say
I'm
this.
sorry,
and then
I'm sorry.
Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're actually dropping into these zones is you gotta firstly, terrible idea now that I think about it, you gotta rush to those loot points and you stare your opponent in the eye, you look at them, and you quickly lick the gun. Because who's gonna touch the gun after that, right? Like, just lick. Okay, fine.
I thought it was like some good strat.
No, I mean it kind of is. Unfortunately,
I
you'll
would
just
do
lick
it
your
in real
screen in the
life, but like
process.
pandemic, you know.
Well, that makes it more effective. But seriously speaking, though, you have to. There's a couple of factors you have to take into consider when you are trying to compete with these teams for drops, right? I mean, so you have to take into consideration what's the positioning of your team. Is your team close enough to back you up if you go to a loot zone, like if you go to loot and you do not find a weapon to start off with? Because we've seen too many times players rush to get loot right next to somebody and they do not have a gun.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely for
So-
sure. But I think HQ does it really well when they've done it twice. They have players, their team becoming the bait or the distraction, and they have one player just running around taking everything. And they may have 3 players down, but then the team player that's already looting is like, "Hi guys, you forgot about me. Check out my guns." Just go pa 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 pa. And yeah, so
I really think for HQ they've been lucky up until this point when it comes to
yeah,
looting
for
because
sure.
they've gotten good weapons. They haven't been stuck with a shotgun. They're fast. So it just makes you wonder, is it up until this point, for me anyway, I'm thinking, is that luck for HQ? They're getting such good loot right off the bat, or is this maybe a case of their opponents also misstepping? Because skirmish wise, HQ on point. They're hitting those headshots with no issues at all. They're doing the damage. So we're not really seeing the team falter. Whereas the teams that they've run into, you can see them sort of just running around with their chickens with their heads cut
they're
off.
They're definitely hesitant for sure. I can see that. Like we saw GOW try to take Epic, I think, try to take a fight against them, and they lose one. They're like, okay, we gotta back off. And I think when it comes to players from other teams, right? Like players for HQ, they're more on the it's okay if one gets knocked down, we will do the rest. They rush in there. They're not hesitant at all, and they are even going as far as to use teammates as bait, and that's even crazy. Like whenever you use members as bait, right, you always have come to this moment where you'll lose one for sure. You're definitely okay with losing one, but they're making sure that teammate doesn't die, and I think that's the most interesting part about it. They're very like, it's okay, I'm bait, but I can take care of myself. Like, he got a kill even before his teammates were around to back him up.
I almost want to chalk that up to also the teams that they're running into not being able to finish off the kills.
Oh yes, definitely,
right?
definitely.
So
always finish your food, guys.
Finish your food. It just makes me wonder if, let's say we have a team such as HQ, they go up against another team that is of equal skill to HQ.
Yeah.
What differences are we actually going to see in terms of playstyle from HQ? Like, how would you adapt to someone that wouldn't fall for rubbish, that wouldn't fall for these cheesy strats? Because let's be real, using your teammate as a shield, it's a little cheesy. It's not the best strat, but it does work in some situations, and it has thus far. So what's the plan here for HQ moving forward?
I think for HQ I think one thing that they're very, very confident is their rotations is number one, and their firepower is two. So when you come up against another team, right? Like if, say, in the grand finals, we see maybe BTS against HQ.
You keep saying my team.
I'm sorry because I mean, we haven't seen a team strong enough to go against HQ yet this time around. I mean, the reason why HQ lost in the other round was because they lost two members. It wasn't really a head-on fight, right? So we haven't really seen a team that can rival them in terms of firepower just yet. At least the other teams have not warmed up yet. So if we say we put into a team that plays the same way, it comes down to which team gets the best rotations, which team gets which team peaks first. It all comes down to that. Sometimes then they may be positioning our luck as well, because we did see moments where, I think HQ just now, they were outside of the circle, the blue zone just did too much damage, and that was it for them.
I still think there's a significant amount of luck onto HQ, but
oh my gosh, Danny!
No, seriously, I do think some of it is luck.
Finals, just first. You're gonna have to eat your words. That's very dangerous.
No, I'm just wondering. For me, I'm just wondering. But anyways, it's going to come down to Purgatory, right? Because Purgatory, I feel it's going to be the final test to see whether it's just this team being that good, or if they had a little bit of a helping hand from Lady Luck. Because some people just think like, oh, luck is not really a big factor. Unfortunately, folks, luck is actually very, very important in Free Fire, and you don't get to choose how much of it you get. You got to take what you get. You got to work with whatever you're given. So we'll find out in just a moment, because it seems the teams are ready to drop into Purgatory. And the big question, Tash, is this going to be a river circle?
I want to see the circle go straight in that three-way prong right over there by Central.
I don't think I've seen a circle there.
I know, just to make it spicy, right? Oh man, I am awful. I am so sorry. I'm keeping an eye out on HQ, where exactly they're gonna drop. We all know that the blue area is where the best loots are gonna be. So for now though, this is N1K. Ooh. And I think they really want to redeem themselves from that last round, but I think that's not gonna be happening, because they dropped right by DGE. And the thing is, we thought that we would be able to see a different outcome this time around. At least if someone's in your area, you could actually find another place to drop. But they're like, we don't care. We're still gonna take this spot. And Danny, why do you think they choose to do that?
So okay, so there's a lot of loot down in the area that they're currently in right now, and there's a lot of places that they can hide.
Look at how many people are at Crossroads, Danny!
I was going to say, look at how many people there are in Brasilia, but we'll take a look at that a little bit later.
I just pointed that out!
Okay, now you said, where's HQ? HQ are in the top left-hand section of the map, right next to SES. So we're actually seeing a lot of skirmishing, and HQ are, as usual, these guys, first one to make the move.
Oh, that's crazy. quickly, but for now though, damage already chunked out by Neo now with his Vector. He's not scared, he's just moving round and round in circles. And more shots come out. I think these are all just pot shots at this point because they're just trying to make sure that people don't come too close to their area so that they can keep looting. For now though, this is Artemis. He already has a pretty decent gun, but no band-aids and no grenades. He's gonna have to be careful because he's not gonna be able to heal.
Yeah, this is the scariest thing about these really early skirmishes because you can't fall back onto glue walls, you can't fall back onto med packs half the time because you don't have them. And especially grenades. Grenades, I feel, play the biggest role when it comes to trying to disengage and flushing out your opponents. But so far, it looks like HQ, they're the ones corralling SES because look at SES, right? They're clumping together and HQ, they are just getting closer and closer.
One buildings each. So how they can do this? Oh, but right now they're gonna meet together. You can see they already have a lot. But look at Bara though coming from the side. That's not at all. The damage comes in, but Fong will be on the side trying to get him. Bara gets a knock onto Tyson. Will be going for Artemis, but Artemis will be the one to turn the tables. Bara will be out for now though. First blood goes to Artemis. For now though, Thanos is still bleeding to death. HQ just annihilating Artemis down as well. HQ this is the end for HQ though, but it looks like it might be.
Did I say luck? I said luck, right?
Yeah, you absolutely did, but they
my goodness.
I think for one thing, they were just too overconfident from how they moved. But if you saw just now how SES played it, they made sure they were together, made sure that they can't be isolated, and that was honestly the best part. Because look how HQ was, they were holding so many different angles. Yes, very, very smart, but they were isolated. Once you're isolated and you're against 4 different players, what can you do?
What do you do? And I think the biggest worry as well was that the fact that they lost Tyson so early. And we know Tyson, he's one of the, he does big deeps for the deeps for the team. So without him, you've lost a lot of that firepower. No disrespect to the rest of the team, but we saw how much impact Tyson has in these fights. To lose him and to not be able to have any chance at reviving him, it's very devastating. So SES,
I'm so sad, Danielle.
I know you're very sad, but honestly, props to SES because these guys played that fight masterfully. Yeah. They could have panicked. They could have just tried to rush into HQ, which is what we've seen a lot of teams do, where they think, oh, it's HQ, we just have to fight them head on. Sometimes you just have to let HQ come to you.
Exactly.
And you're able to get those pickoffs.
Now, because HQ was just way too aggressive, I feel. But Brasilia, as you mentioned,
Mr.
there's too many teams. But for now, GOW, though, wants to go aggressive against Epic. They want to go through. Some glue walls already out. Mr. 07 will be the one inside. They have shotguns. They are ready for this CQC. Epic Yo, though, ready out with his guns as well. Ranger out with his little gun as well. I think the damage has come in now to PCW. They're playing it smart by hiding in the rooms. Time Turner is already out. But look at Evil Star. He was thinking about going flanking from the side. Grenade comes out just in case of any flankers, but that's not gonna hit anyone. He does take a little bit of damage, but not enough. But Ronaldo, he gets one! Liam already knocked down. That was really, really fast reaction. The teammate will be moving back inside. He's like, nope, not today. Though, will be the second one. Where's the other team? They are looking for the last one. Where is he? Where is he?
Mr. 07 is down! He actually gets picked off by Ear on Epic. Oh, but I think this might just be it though. Ear, I do believe he is... okay, he's the second
right
last.
In the open, will be running to the other wall. Half HP left. Star will be chasing, but will be finished off by his teammates. But look how ready they were for the CQC. Shotguns already out. Evil Star this time though, leading with 3 kills. And that gives... this is only like 5 minutes in, and we already have 2 teams already out.
Yeah, and it's going to be very sad for Epic as well because this is another round where the team doesn't really get an opportunity to go into that late game. So it makes you wonder what sort of happened with Epic. That they've been eliminated with these early skirmishes, and I feel like that seems to be their weakness as a team. They don't know how to stabilize themselves for that mid game.
That's honestly so surprising because all they had to do was to hold on to the area. They let them push in. They didn't even stop them from pushing in.
Oh, they had to do. I don't know. There's a lot of things.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in terms of advantage, they do have the advantage. All they had to just, not all they had to do, but they just had to push, not push in, but shoot out from the outside, not allowed it to get inside, but they allowed it to come into the compound. And my question is, why did you do that?
Who knows? Maybe they just didn't have the right guns to get those really fast pickoffs. Maybe they're not confident with their aim. hell, this could be a team that prefers close quarter combat, and they weren't able to
They
get
didn't
what
have
they
the
wanted.
shotguns for sure. They didn't have what GOW had. They had 2 shotguns that round. As soon as I saw the shotgun, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the end. But SAF for now, I'm surprised that they didn't go into the other area. They actually went toward Brasilia. They took a compound right beside of that little terrain there, and I think that's a really good area. But it might be dangerous if there is someone like now NC just staring at them from the top of this little lookout area. But for now, UAV though, so close to SAF, they're like, please don't come here. We don't want people to know we're here, or maybe we do. I don't know.
Actually, I know Husky and Mustachio, they hate when teams clump up in these little watch houses. And the reason being is that all it takes is one grenade to ruin your day.
Every time it happens, no, I mean, I know they hate it, but I love it. Like, please do it. Please. Just let me see those triple quadra kills. It would be amazing. It makes me laugh so hard. I'm so mean. I'm sorry. I am that kind of caster.
Alrighty. Moving on. We have a second. Oh goodness. Actually, speaking of teams that start with S, so we haven't really had a chance to really look at SAF, and this is a team that we probably have the most information on just because we've been watching them for the past 6 weeks.
It's so
7.
crazy seeing them. They won FF. I think it was Philippines Open PO FFPO. And they were consistently doing well throughout so many weeks during MCP majors. Grand finals not so great because everyone found out their strat, so they had to kind of figure it out. But still, even then, they were still performing regardless. And this is a team that definitely, I think, what's for sure is that their strat is probably not working here. They need to figure out another way. And I think this is one of those things that happens once you're on a bigger stage, because sometimes the way you play doesn't necessarily translate well into a different stage or against different sort of players. You know how you play in
different
the Philippines.
regions, right?
Yeah, different regions.
metas.
Yeah, like you can see that from Taipei and Thailand and Vietnam even. They're more aggressive. They want to go. They just want to go. They just want to attack. And then you have a more passive gameplay from Philippines. And we all know that Malaysia as well likes to. They're not really passive per se, but they like to wait. There's a lot of third party going on in there. So we really want to see how these teams are able to not only adjust or adapt to these different playstyles, how they're managing to make it their own.
Actually, I think a really good way of describing how SAF is playing right now is that it's actually a little bit greedy.
Are they though? I have to disagree.
Okay, let me explain myself, because if
fair.
you just hear me say greedy, it makes no sense. So contextually speaking, right? So when I mean greedy, I mean you're a team that's trying to maximize as many points as possible, right? So you're trying to maximize by getting placement and getting kills, which generally speaking, if you're going to get high placement, you're going to get kills, right?
Yes.
I feel that because SAF, they're so used to maximizing in their meta, which was the Malaysia Philippines, that they think it's going to work here. Now, we've seen 2 rounds where they've tried to maximize. It didn't really work out for the team.
Yeah,
they're still
absolutely.
doing it. We haven't really seen SAF try and play aggressively. But the question is, can you really afford to maximize when you have these teams that are eating the competition alive?
Yeah, that's right. Though Alex, though, will be knocked down thanks to N1K. We're seeing Insane going aggressive. Insane will be the next one out. Warchan just doing so much damage. Fatbird from the back with the time turner just doing so much damage from the backside there as a great support. Warchan from the top side here. And despite him not having the highest high ground like DG, though, look at how he's playing. And right now, one member is already out. And N1K picks one. Right here, Wang Zi, though, they want to make sure to hold on to this compound. Not only this compound, they want to gatekeep this area as well. Alex, though, bleeding to death. Will he be the second one? Yes, he will. He's also out. And right now, Harsh and Ignite, the only 2 members left, will have to skedaddle, and they are making their way out of the area. And I think it's a great spot where N1K put themselves at, because they knew that they were going to get picks as people pushed into the area.
Yeah, this is a pretty good spot to be in if you want to go for those pickoffs, so completely understandable if you want to stay around here if you're N1K. But the thing is there anyone that they can really pick off anymore? I don't really see anyone on the map.
Nope, they're not going through that side though.
So if that's the case, then they're going to have to start rotating, but I don't see them moving until that circle gets really close and then they realize,
yeah, they want to play at the edge of the circle. And you know, there are some teams who likes playing at the side of the circle, just gatekeeping and just waiting. And there are teams that we've seen SAF who like to get to the middle of the circle as soon as they can. So my question to you, Danley, is which one is better?
I think at this point in time, teams that are playing towards the center of the circle, because generally speaking, you should always have the advantage of gatekeeping. If you're playing on the edge, I feel that you are putting yourself at risk at being targeted by multiple teams because they're already going to be in the center of the map. So I'd prefer to be in the center, but that's personal preference. We will have to see here if it's going to work out for DG, because this is a team that is trying to play on the edge, but SYZ, I think they have the freedom here to gatekeep if they really wanted to.
Yeah, they have a compound, they have a little bit of a higher area. They got rid of that UAV though. DG, once they have to take this fight if they want to push in right now, and SYZ is like, nah, but look at where the circle went.
Dude!
Ping-ponged to the right. SAF smack dab in the middle. What is this circle prediction? Hello?
I mean, it's working out for them so far, so SAF, they are trying to maximize, and Lady Luck is shining their way, but the thing is it going to keep shining their way? Because we haven't really seen SAF really do too much. Who?
DG, were they? I can't tell. No, they weren't. That was SYZ. I was gonna say, if they really did push in, I would be very, very impressed, and I was really excited to see how they would fare against SYZ. SYZ has definitely been a team to look out for as well, with return back-to-back on the top kills list for 2 matches in a row.
That's actually a very quiet game for SYZ, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
usually they're the ones going on the aggressive, just like HQ. HQ as well!
I mean, this is a very quiet game compared to Kalahari, and I feel like it's just because everyone hasn't really run into anybody.
It's a very big map for... No, it's not a very big map. I mean, it's a big map for sure. It's very bad. But for now, though, I mean, we spoke too soon. McRory already one knock onto someone thanks to a grenade. And DG, though, 1 player out thanks to KOG. Oh, DG, not a great place to be once again.
Oh, we could be looking at some third-party action, Tash. Look who's coming in on the map.
Yeah, that's right. We have 5MT over there and SAF on the side. And look at where the other team is. Maybe we might see a fight over here and a third party coming to inside. Honestly, it's a great time when, you know, when you see this kind of fights happening, it's a great time for another team to come in and just sneak in. Like right now, SES already in the circle as well. Look at GOW just slowly sneaking inside, but they don't have a compound. While I would say not having a compound is not a good thing, but sometimes it can work out. But for now, though, this is Blackhawk playing on the side there, just putting some shots onto GOW. They have been spotted out. They're gonna have to be careful, and the circle is slowly closing in. Ah, it's gonna hurt.
There are so many teams in the area as well, and they're going to be at the mercy of these teams that are currently sitting very happy in their positions. SAF, dead center. They are free to go for these kills, but look at how many teams have survived up until this point, Tash.
It's a very quiet game. Yeah,
this has probably been the most quiet game for today, and I think things are about to go completely crazy because 4 bits. Oh, that's sniper to 4 bits, but Osaka actually going down as well. King of Gamers. Oh, they don't get the res off. He actually gets picked off by Brian.
Oh man, I don't know why, but it is so demoralizing to get picked off like that, not able to fight back at all. For now though, KOG, they have 2 kills, they lose 1 player, but it doesn't really matter to them. They want to go on the aggressive, they want to try and redeem themselves from the last 2 games. For now, they can see their KOG on the aggressive, they want to take DG over here. They taking in some damage. Kevin all the way in the back, he is actually fighting for another angle, making sure they don't get flags from behind, and they're gonna have to use that little terrain as well as the rock to make sure they stay alive. But for now, if you look at the kill feed though, Ranger knocked down as well as member of KOG. Grenades come out, they're making it rain. 1, 2, 1 out. And oh man, not a great place for KOG to be, because OG though, DG is really pushing forward right now, but Mate JB will be knocked out of the game. DG Ecom wants to try and help out, but he's just taking too much damage.
King of Gamers?
Is the only one alive. 3 down, will it be a finish here? Kai is gonna be taking a little bit of damage from the blue zone. Oh man, as the other members are out, but DG will be eliminated. Just so unlucky.
Oh my gosh, and that was a nice pickup on the screen. Now we've got the final circle happening right now on the screen, Tash, and nobody has control of the circle.
This is the first time we're seeing this, Danny. That's crazy.
And what makes it worse, right? There's no compounds. They only have trees.
There's a total of 3 trees. Just 3 trees. For now, though, SES will be the next one eliminated. 5MT looking great. We have not really seen them in action, but this game, though, they're trying to show themselves that, yes, we are definitely someone we need to take care of with 3 kills already. But one player, though, does get taken off by Wildjet from NC. And NC as well has been pretty terrifying as well if you've watched the last game.
They actually have been rather terrifying. It could be a team that we might be looking at on the leaderboard, but again, it's going to depend on their performance. But for now, so far, NC looking to be in a fantastic position with 4 members working towards the side of the map. SAF somehow getting eliminated on the other side. SYZ, though, in a very advantageous position, maybe trying to go for a backstab onto NC, who are trying to find a safe zone to actually enter the map. But so far, looks like they're going to be blocked off by SYZ, who are running right into them, and they will deny them the safety.
Look,
they denied them the circle!
They really did, and look how they did about 2 players already out, returned the only one alive, but look where KOG is. They're on top of the terrain. They have the high grade, they have the high ground, but look at this. The return is like, nah man, nah, I don't even care. Gets stuck for a little bit, but he's just playing ring around Rosie around the area here. Return solo needs to heal, but they are not gonna allow him to get a pick. But that's it. The NSYZ will be taking out second place for this because KOG makes a comeback. This is it for them.
Oh, again, this is actually the second BF for King of Gamers, right? These guys, they have played. So they're not as aggressive as some of the other teams that we've noticed.
They're definitely more opportunistic team, I believe, and they are really good at taking those advantages, I feel.
They really remind me of SAF, actually.
Yes,
so
they do!
It seems like King of Gamers, they're actually trying to play that. I'm going to change the way I'm going to describe it. They're trying to maximize their games by safely going into the late game, and then that's when the team really comes out to pick off those final kills, to essentially just pick off wounded animals, right? Because at the end of the day, like when you're going into the final circle, you might be low on ammo, you could be low on blue walls, you could be busy fighting somebody else, and that's when King of Gamers comes out. They get the backstab, they fight you when you're weakened, and what do? Right? Because King of Gamers, they put themselves in a position where they didn't have to deal with all of the craziness.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like how they've been playing was just really, really well. Compared to the other games where we saw HQ playing on the aggressive, yes, it is great. But right now, you know, when they say certain things is like you can only do the same strat maybe 2 to 3 times before it stops working. Because sometimes the players will be keeping an eye out on you. That's very dangerous. And I think HQ was definitely one of those teams that were just like, they kind of bit more than they could chew. They were like, okay, this has been working out. Let's just keep doing it over and over. And you know, till at one point it just stops working. But for SAF though, we didn't really see them on the aggressive at all. We barely saw them in any of the fights. In fact, we only saw them get picked off, especially from the side of 4-Bits. Just now that beautiful headshot coming from, I cannot remember the team, but yeah, as I said before, it is very demoralizing. But we are seeing the same strats being used again, and I really want to see SAF find that middle ground between, you know, placements and getting kills. I mean, you know, I did mention before at MCP Majors they found that secret sauce, which is waiting for the late game and then picking off. But the thing is, they're not making it to the late game. So what can they do for their plan B? Because right now they only have one plan, which was to only maximize their points through placement. They got 5th place. They do make it to late game, not late game, but they do get pretty good placements, like I think 8th, 7th, and 5th, I believe. And while it does give them points, but you could get more with some pickups.
Exactly, and I feel like the fact that they're not getting those pickoffs, they're really falling behind on the leaderboard. We'll actually take a look at their position very soon once we've actually calculated the points, but Tash, we're already halfway through, and we're already starting to see a very clear line between the top tier teams and the teams that aren't quite making the cut. And because you only have 3 games left to get those points in, it might already be too late for some of these squads unless they manage to get either 2, 3 fantastic performances. If they can get heaven forbid they somehow get 3 booyahs. I don't think the team's going to be able to do that.
I wouldn't say you need 3 booyahs because right now KOG has 2 and you have HQ with 1, correct? So in a way, if you do get at least 1 booyah with a good amount of kills, if you do manage to get second player, now I think the placements that players need to eye is second place, because I feel like right now KOG may be very, very far ahead. Is either second place, hold on to that placement, or you can go for third place and just maximize as many points as you can. But the downside is because we are on Group A, day 1 for tomorrow, the third place, they'll be like, okay, this is the amount of points we need to have in order to make it forward.
Now it looks like we've got some new names on the leaderboard here, Tash. We've got Kevin59 going to be leading with 7 kills, followed by Jojo77. 77, lucky number, right? Sometimes you gotta go double. You know, seven's not enough. You gotta go double 7.
Yeah.
So Joe77 with 3 kills, and then we've got him tied with Patrick, who's also sitting on 3 kills. So it seems for this round, it wasn't so heavily distributed amongst a couple teams. We're starting to see some of these kills really get evened out, because game 1, it was basically hogged by, I think 4 teams were hogging all the kills. Game 2, similar situation, but I think it was better distributed. And then now we're starting to see more teams survive to that 3rd, 4th, and even final circle.
Yeah, I think we are gonna be we're gonna see a shift in gameplay definitely in the next match, because it's gonna be round 2 of each of the maps. So I think at this point they're like, okay, we've already gone round 1. We have an idea where people drop. We have an idea how they play, how they lurk, how each team plays in terms of strats. So we kind of have an idea how to play around them. So we may be seeing a shift in terms of drop spots, in terms of how they play, and that's gonna be really interesting to see how differently each team will be handling this. And I think we are also gonna be seeing these teams, like maybe teams that we didn't really pay attention to earlier, may start to rise at the next round.
Now, speaking of next round, for people that are tuning into the broadcast, what is the next map, you say? We're going to be going all the way back to Bermuda, because we're already halfway through the broadcast. So back to our roots, the map that everybody knows, everybody loves, and of course it is the most action-packed map in the game, just because of the size, and also the fact that I feel Bermuda, it's such a good vanilla map, because everyone knows the map. Yeah. So it's not like Kalahari, where some teams specialize in the map because it's such a different play style. Purgatory, it's similar to Bermuda. It's just that it's got, I want to say, it's
too open. It's way too open.
Yeah.
Compared to Bermuda, you know? But you saw how Return tried to play that last round. I'm just looking at this replay right now, and he really tried to isolate the other 2 members. And you saw how he played it, right? Back and forth, trying to make sure to get one pick and then work on the other. But KOG was just not having it, and honestly, that was a great way for them to play. But for now, though, this is the standings for game number 3, where KOG, though, will be leading with a total of 22 points, almost 10 points ahead of SYZ with 14, 5MT with 11, and SES and MC both with 10. And the reason why NC is at 5th place is because of their kills, which is a lot lower. SAF, though, takes 6th place with a total of 8 points, TOW with 7, DG with 6, N1K with 4, DGE with 2, Epic and HQ, though, end the game with at least 1 point. And we did talk about this. While you do go out of the game first, you don't go out with 0 points. And I think this is the first time today that we're seeing no one enter the lobby with 0.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see these teams slowly adapt to their opponents, and they're feeling, because we have to say, right, first 3 games, you're feeling everybody out, because not everyone plays the maps similarly. It's going to be different. But
yeah,
most importantly for today, we've got to take a look at the kill board. Sorry, not the kill board. We've got the leaderboard. This is the total standings. Now, the top 3 is essentially what everyone's aiming for. They're so far away
from everyone else. This is the top 3 strongest teams. You can already say that right now.
It is. Well, this is what I was talking about, Tash, right? Like, there is a clear line between the teams that are going to make it and the teams that are just nowhere near the competition.
Yeah.
So it comes down to whether one of these top 3 teams falter for the next 3 games, or if we see a dark horse. I guess a good example, let's say SES, right? They have 2, maybe all 3 games. If they have 3 fantastic games, and let's say King of Gamers, they falter for 2 of them, we could see them lose that place.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's 3 games. It's still a lot.
For sure though, and I'm actually quite surprised about DGE. We see them a lot in these matches. We see them take fights, we see them go on the aggressive. But I think one of the weaknesses of DG is I feel that they are playing too much on the corner, or they don't make it into the circle, and they always get gate capped. And once they get gate capped, they're in trouble. We saw that in Kalahari, we saw that in Purgatory. They need to do something about their rotations, and fast.
It's a hard one because it comes down to whether the team prefers to play on the edge, because remember, right, sometimes we see things one way, but then if a team trains to play on the edge of the map, it's really difficult to stray away. It's really difficult to stray away from the style that you've trained. I guess another example is SAF, right? Like we've been saying that this is a team that maximizes. They don't go for that HQ aggression. It's not like they're going to be able to just flip a switch and be like, oh, let's just go for kills. Like, it just doesn't work like that.
But so this comes back to what I was saying, that's what's your plan A, what's your plan B, and what's your plan C. And I think some teams like HQ, like SYZ, they are a team that are very, very equipped for that. They're like, okay, what's our priority? We want to get kills. Okay, what's our second priority, which is placement? So, you know, that's a very, very important thing to think about. But for now, though, let's put that aside, because this is gonna be a match number 4. We're going back to Bermuda, and the flight path though straight through the map from the west all the way to the east to Cape Town. And I think in terms of drop spots and distributions, there shouldn't be an issue about where teams are gonna drop. We're not really gonna see moments where teams are like desperate enough to have to drop into other areas. But though, look at SYZ already taking over the hangar, I believe, and NC, I'm guessing they might be going for the factory unless they are moving toward Mars Electric. We already see HQ already so fast looting, and we all know in terms of HQ, they want to be the first one down, getting as many loot as they can.
So let's see if there's a little bit of a change here, Tash. It doesn't look like it because we are still seeing this early game aggression. This time it's going to be GOW to be the aggressors against 5 mutants. And they've got the high ground as well. Evil Star raining hell from the rooftops. And I mean, 5 mutants, they don't really have the best position to counter this, as they're trying to get away, but Black Hawk gets shot down. And his team, it looks like they may have just abandoned him.
Yeah, they got a knock and immediately they push in, and that is what I like to see, a very proactive thing. And as they are running away, they got shot out from the back by Evil Star, still doing damage. He actually already knocked out one, and Walid as well as his other teammate are just running for their lives. They have to heal, but Tuka though, they're like, nah, let's chase them. Let's all the way chase them till the end. Evil Star again, he is just going crazy, and 5 empty out, and it's only been a minute in.
Oh, it's going to be so painful for the team. Eliminated right off the bat, they got no kills, and this is also going to be 4 points going in the way of GOW. Now, remember, Tash, on the leaderboard, I believe GOW, they're sitting on about 20-ish points, so this could be the start of a potential comeback for the team, but they have to do this for the next 3 rounds, and this is assuming that they're also going to place high on Bermuda. But things are looking good so far, so we'll have to keep an eye out for them. As for King of Gamers, though...
Why are you there alone? Ronaldo Kevin with the damage. Bara playing it real smart on the side of terrain, but his friend Thanos is there to save him. He can even take some damage shot from the back, but he knows his teammate is there to back him off. But KOG Osaka, though, coming from the other side, they really want this area on the top side of the terrain. But SES, I feel like their 2x2 sort of strat may be working out, because they have the 2 supports playing on their side, but I'm not too sure what weapons they have to do those long range sort of shots.
Well, my concern is that the supports are literally not in position to even back them up. They're on the low ground. Fong is in a vehicle. I'm not sure if he's trying to maybe like drive in to save the day, or just drive up next to them, sweep them away in the vehicle, and maybe they can get away from KOG. Looks like, what's the plan? No, they're engaging. Okay, so they're not going to retreat. They want to engage into KOG.
Wow.
But I'm a little bit worried still, though, because this is an open hill. If King of Gamers somehow manage to get if they can just run up to SES, that might just be it, because you've got nowhere to hide.
Exactly. Another thing I'm worried about is a third party, because you can be shot down from below. But for now, though, Thanos with the glue walls playing from the side, but it looks like KOG will be rotating together. They don't want to be isolated, and I feel like in a way it's a good thing and a bad thing depending on how they want to play this. But there are no grenades from the side of SES. At least I haven't seen it just yet. And Kevin, though, throwing out the first nade. Bara sees it, will be moving away, does not want to take that damage. And look at how they're just dancing around right now. But Thanos is going to take some damage from KOG Osaka. Osaka does have the high ground. And Thanos only half HP left. And right now, he's going to be chunking out that damage. Up, down. But he's going to be a shot from...
Was that with? Oh, there we go. All right, so Osaka able to survive. Oh no, but we've actually got the knockdown onto one of KOG. Two from KOG are going to be going down, and I think mistakes have been made. Tash, SES, they're actually running all over one of our top 3 teams. King of Gamers, only down to one player. It's Osaka 77. He does manage to get the knock himself, but that's going to be it. King of Gamers eliminated.
Yep, that's right. SES did lose one in this, but it's okay because they did get rid of the biggest competitor in the game. It does give them time to actually chase up a little bit more, and the circle does come to the south side of the area. And DGE, though, if you see, they actually dropped at Pochino, and it's actually the blue zone, so they are gonna be, I mean, you safely say that they are very, very looted up. And this time, though, DGE is already inside of the circle fairly early.
They are very early into the circle, so maybe they're just thinking like, guys, let's stop playing on the edge. Right? Like, let's just try and get in.
Maybe. For now, though, I think SAS still at hangar, and I believe I can safely say that is their drop spot of choice from what I've seen from the last 2 games. And Bullseye will be where HQ is. HQ, though, usually I see them in the circle quite early, but this time around they're playing on the outside, and I'm wondering what's going on. But from what SES did just now, that 4 points may be very, very precious to them, especially because they do need those points in our chase. We were talking about SES just now, right, Danley? You did point them out, and then suddenly they are here. Danny, are you a prophet or?
No, I think it's the opposite. We'll let the game do the talking. We'll let the teams do the talking, right? It's like, just don't put any hope into me, because anyone I vote for, they just. I'm not going to say anything. SYZ on the screen right now in a vehicle. Okay. Nothing's happening as of yet.
Are they aggressively pushing into the side of DGE? But NC
There's
is
3 teams here.
There's 3 teams. But NC, though, wants to play it safe. They want to get out of here. But see, there's 2 teams. There are 2 teams inside that vehicle while Waljan is driving. And if that blows up, that's like half the team already gone. But Waljan will be trying to drive away as fast as they can. They want to bring that Tokyo Drift out here. They don't want to fight this. But SYZ, I'm not sure if they know that DGE is there, because I'm not sure if they were here for NC or if they do notice that there were 2 teams here, because they are very, very aggressive.
I mean, DGE, they haven't revealed themselves, so I don't think they are aware that they are there, right? Like, if you see a team outside of a compound, you think like, oh, this must be the team that was here originally.
Yeah, that's right, though. But Nikki does drive inside. Does he see Insane? Not too sure, but Insane does switch his weapons. No shots come out. That Alex playing very quiet, though. He will be running to the other side. Nikki already scouted outside, and they all know that the shots already return, playing from the outside. Ignite. All-time turner already outruns inside of the building. Alex taking a little bit of damage over there.
Oh, looks like things are going to get a little bit spicy here. Tash, SYZ able to get the knockdown onto Ignite, who's now knocked down under the staircase, and his team not in a position to save him at all. There's no cover to work with. We've got another drop, this time onto Harsh, onto Insane. This might just be it for DGE. It looks like the team, they're not going to be able to contest SYZ, who are dead set on taking this compound for themselves. Factory renamed to SYZ Incorporate.
Yeah, rename the entire area. They just chased out 2 teams from that area. They weren't even scared. But the thing is, DGE was just too passive that fight. They were not taking the initiative. We did talk about this so many times. Sometimes when you have the area, you have to be aggressive. You have to hold on to area. You have to be able to put in those shots to give them the disadvantage. You already had the compound. SYZ just too aggressive, and they just let Nikki drive inside for the information.
I wonder if Nikki actually did see someone inside and he thought, I'm going to try and run them over with the bike, because we did see some road kill in our first round.
He drove in with the car.
Oh, it was a car.
It was a car.
I got to see it properly.
That's why I was confused, because if they were aggressive, they could have got at least 1 drop from that, and maybe prevented that push inside.
Speaking of push, so we're looking at a different team here. This is DG. This is not DEG. This is DG. This is the other team that starts with D. And if I'm not mistaken, Tash, this is also another team that generally likes to play on the edge of the circle. Before anything, let's go! Let's go, Zed! Yeah,
Tuka, but McGlory on the aggressive wants to protect his teammate, throws in some damage, but not enough to do anything. And you see that 4-bits with his shot. I mean, we did talk about this. 4-bits with this sniper is absolutely scary, but they're not allowing him to peek at all. Once he peeks, one moment he takes a little bit of damage there. And the thing is, they got let's go. Thank God for that. And they are playing it very, very safe here. They don't want to over peek because Epic though, even though they are not as aggressive. There we go. That's why I just said one peek from 4-bits and he's already down. EO is just absolutely insane. And look at that, EO and Ung already pushing forward despite having the low ground.
And what really makes it difficult here as well is that McRory is literally pincered between two teams, right? He's right between N1K, he's right next to Epic, he can't move, he's on the road, so he's basically stuck, left for stranded, he's stranded all on his own. So it's going to be the rest of SAF. It's up to them to actually rescue him and hopefully McRory being able to get some of those pot shots in from the high ground.
Oh no, EO's gone down!
EO, he goes out from... Can they keep it up?
See there, Epic is gonna push forward now. 4-bits trying to play around the compound, but he has to play further away. For now, though, they're just locked inside of this area. We've seen this happen during MCP majors. McRory coming from the back with the flank, has the high ground, but he has to remember he's all alone. For now, though, Liam with the aggression. The time turner comes out. He's gonna play a ring around Rose, and McRory will be knocked down. What is happening? I'm so confused. He had his pan out.
Did he panic? Did he have no weapon? Did he have no way to defend himself? I mean, he went out basically for free. They will get the res off and they will leave Liam for dead as of now. Epic left with 3 members. If they can't rescue Liam, they got to get out of there, and I don't blame them. HQ is coming for you, my friend.
That's why HQ wants to play a third party this time. After that round, it'll work out. And I think they will be finishing off Liam. That's 1 point for them. And you see the members of SAF so low right now. I don't think they're able to heal because I think they don't have enough loot. My son, though, we've seen him in action. He's actually really, really scary. But it looks like they're moving away because they want to get to the compound as fast as possible. They're not going to be finishing off that fight.
So I think for now they're just going to retreat. Everyone going to try and position themselves in that new circle.
I'm glad for them. Everyone gets to reset.
Kind of, I suppose. I don't know about SAF. The team still looks really injured. So unfortunately for them, it's going to be a little bit of a tough one trying to get into that safe zone safely just because you don't have that buffer in hold.
For them.
We'll find
out.
out.
Where Tyson was? He was trying to. He was going on from the other side. I think they just want to make sure that they don't get flanked from the back. I think they are aware that N1K is from that side. They're like, okay, we've got one pick. Let's reposition and try to finish him off another way, perhaps. But no, I don't think it's gonna happen. They are moving away from the area, and the thing is, no one is shooting at them. No one is trying to pick a fight.
Yeah, I think at this point, what they're doing. Something I really like for HQ, right, is that this team is not afraid to use vehicles to get around the map. This is something that we don't see at all in the Malaysian Filipino meta. Like, teams do not like to use vehicles, and it's kind of understandable, right? Like, yes, it's going to provide you a mode of transport. You can move around the map really quickly, but you can also get picked off whilst riding the vehicle. Yeah,
the bike is very scary, I believe, because it is so easy to get picked off. The car is a little bit more secure. But look at the area HQ is in. They don't have a compound, but they're just holding on to that terrain, that high area, and it's right beside GOW as well. But N1K, though, it's very interesting how they're separated like that. I think they just want to hold on to a big area for as long as they can to make sure that they can, in case the circle goes a little bit too far or too near, they do have an area to go back to. And as I said before, N1K, I believe right now they are in last place, so they have a lot to lose.
Oh, I mean, to be fair, I'd say they probably have nothing to lose, right? Because if they go down here,
we've seen moments where nothing to lose teams just go crazy. I love seeing those. We saw that from bloody hits from the Philippines. I want to see that again, you know. But for now, though,
we don't have 6 weeks.
What is the circle prediction again?
They know, Tash. They know all the secrets. Clearly these guys, they know what they're doing.
They immediately, when they retreated just now, I saw them retreat, but I was just wondering, like, why? But I guess this is why.
I don't think it was also a circle prediction. I think maybe they were hoping that it would also be in this location, and they also wanted to dodge N1K because they had...
Wait, N1K though does get Neo now. They get knocked onto that. You just mentioned that, Danny.
Oops. Okay, that's not something I was expecting.
I did say the area was quite open, didn't I?
Yeah, it is open. But the thing is, it's going down the hill, right? NYK, they still have the.
Look at how many teams are around them, but we are going to see fights from SES against GOW. Tuka so low right now, but his teammate is right close by. Oh, the time turner comes out. The wall comes down. GOW, Mr. 07 has to move outside, does not want to get pincer between those two players. And right now, in terms of that, SES that only has 3 compared to GOW that has 4. 2K just now so low, but is able to run away. And look at them repositioning themselves to fight. And SES had moved backwards. They don't want to pick this fight because they know that they are not in terms of numbers. They just don't have it.
I don't know, I have a feeling Evil Star's trying to get some vision. Oh, they will throw a couple of potshot grenades in. Yeah, I was wondering if that was actually going to be something that GOW want to do, if they can try and flush out the team with some grenades. So far, none of them are going to be able to connect. Oh!
Not quite. I think GOW is hoping for, I mean, SES once is hoping for a receive, and there we go. GOW playing from the side there. More grenades come out, but SES is ready for the grenades. They already have a time turner. They have a whole bunch of walls. Shots come out. Not too sure what's happening over there because Mr. 07 is making sure that they can't run outside. For now, though, HQ Funky does get Wang, but there we go. 2 players already down from GOW, which is Evil Star, but Evil Star has been revived. Ranger, the only one down left. Mr. 07 who has to go through the other side because the whole area has been blocked. For now, though, the circle is pushing in. The team that wins will be the one that will be able to push forward. They're playing it real slow.
It's actually up to GOW to make the move here, because if they're too slow and they're actually going to try and run in with that circle, they're going to take a whole lot of damage in the process. For SES, they're baiting, they're trying to drag them out.
Oh, the wall comes in, they can't push out. They're trying to push it in, but for now, though, they're so lucky to play at the edge of circle. Evil Star playing from the outside. Some damage coming down, but he will be knocked down. Fong, though, 07 though does get Fong. Duka will be trying to come for the back with the double vector. He is all alone right now. Will he be able to get his teammates? But he wouldn't be because Thanos was ready for him. Oh my god, despite only having 3 players, they were able to mow down a team of 4.
Oh, but that was not the only fight that's happening on the map right now, Tash. We have N1K actually raining fire onto HQ on the low ground. So it's going to be a fight for that control on the map. And as we can see, we've got the new circle on the map, and it's going to be in favor of HQ.
That is actually so surprising right now, but SAF though has the side of terrain. Grenade comes out. Will it hit for bits? Not quite. It doesn't. Epic does go down thanks to Tyson. Tyson again just doing work with his sniper. I don't want to meet Tyson and his sniper. I thought for bits was great, but it's clearly Tyson. This looks more superior right now. For now, Funky M though does get McRory for bits all alone. The wall comes out. NC has been eliminated. Game Moon bleeding to death as well as McRory. McRory already out. Tyson gets knocked down. Not too sure from which side though. And we did say this again. If you're gonna be in the middle of the circle, you better be prepared to hold on to the area. And HQ though is just taking so much damage. And Artemis is now out of the game.
Yeah, he might be out of the game, but they still got the rest of their team. Yep, Epic gonna be eliminated. But guys, N1K still on the high ground, and look what they're doing. They're actually playing this very, very smart. They don't feel. Now, personally, I think this is a good move. They don't feel pressured to waste their resources going into this late game, right? So save your grenades, use them for when you need them. And now,
we were just talking about that. Wo-chan already knocked down Wang Z so low right now. Fatber has to push forward. I don't think they can save their teammates now. Fatber is already half HP, but the HQ though looks pretty healthy despite having only 3 members. HQ from the side and 1K. We spoke too soon, but 4th place for them, looking a lot better. But Thanos has been knocked down from SES. Is so unlucky, and that's the end for them, despite such a great game from them. For now though, there's 2 other members of SES waiting on the side there. I think there's only 2 left right now. They are inside of the compound. They may have an advantage here, but Tyson though with the quadra kill. Let's see how this goes. Funky M waiting on the side, but Fong though just doesn't quick peek, will be moving away, and looks like they're gonna just be waiting on the side, just wait for HQ to come to them.
Oh man, this is going to be a really tough game, but if SES are going to be able to do it, it's going to be one hell of a play. It's 2 versus 3. And
wait, Yonao has a shotgun. He wants to play CQC here. What? That's crazy.
Did they know that? Oh! Did they know that?
Oh my god, the circle actually goes for HQ. The back will be knocked down. Oh, low, but SES will be eliminated. There we go. HQ with the 2nd booyah of the day. HQ and JOG just doing so much work.
Tash, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Fong got knocked down by a landmine. it was a well-placed landmine. It knocked him down, and of course, like when you've only got one player left, it's almost in the bag. But Esports, considering that they basically just disappeared, I guess, in that last round.
Yeah.
Fantastic way to bring themselves back.
Yeah, they have to do something because they only got 1 point that round. So they're like,
But-
okay, we have to make a comeback now. It's very dangerous for them. But it's so insane how they played this so well as well. And we saw them lose one, and I was really nervous for them actually, because I thought that when they lost Artemis, that will be their damage dealer gone, but they're like, nope, not today, Zerg.
Tash, so the strength for HQ, I feel it's not just one player. Like, it's not just Tyson, it's not just Artemis, it's the entire team. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
for
matter
sure.
who gets knocked down.
I think in terms of communication, it's something else for them. It's like they're so in sync. They're like, okay, we want to play aggressive, and everyone is on the same wavelength. Instead of like other teams where we see one player going aggressive, they're not too sure. Are we engaging? Are we not engaging? Are we repositioning? And I think HQ, with that confidence as well, you saw how they just moved through so many teams and no one is engaging on them. Why are these teams letting them?
I mean, it's not like you're going into the game and their name is above their head.
Exactly, that's why I
Right?
said you
Then
don't
you have
know
to
which
guess.
team that is. I mean, when they were riding the bike, right? They were, it was through N1K as well as SAF. If they were to pick off, because there was 2 people on the bike, if they blew up the bike, I think that would have been a great advantage for them. But SAF, when they didn't take that to advantage. They were actually picked off by HQ as well. SAF thought they were being sneaky, they were gonna play for placements, but they get shot from that. They didn't even realize that HQ was there.
Oh goodness. Speaking of HQ, key player, Tyson, 5 kills. Okay, remember, I think it was Tyson that also, was it Tyson or Artemis that got the first key player? It was Artemis.
Yes.
So this is Tyson, different player, but 5 kills.
The same amount of damage.
No. Tyson's doing more. Tyson does more damage. Yeah, it was 6 kills to Tyson's 5 kills, and then 1.4k to 1.5k.
I mean, Tyson with his sniper is definitely very scary, but the game kill leader though will be taken by Thanos. I mean, Thanos has been performing. We see him just go on the aggressive, and I think at most parts he was a big not only just damage dealer, but also in terms of rotations and making space, he did do really well for his team. But Tyson though will be second and Feng on 4th, and we did mention Feng as well, like he was the last one down just now. I think just so unlucky though that landmine was just too big brain, I believe.
I mean, landmines in situations like that, I feel it's just the best time to use them. When
for
When you don't have many places to navigate, then just put the landmine on one of the sections. It's going to be able to basically lock that area down for you, and you can focus on protecting the other side. But I mean, this is where we saw King of Gamers just fall. And this was because they wanted to go for their own sneaky pick onto SES, right? Like, this was King of Gamers wanting to encroach onto their territory.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think they really underestimated that. But for now, though, for DGE, I think this part was very unfortunate. I mean, I think about it a lot. I mean, like, they had a nice compound, they had a nice area, they just let them roam through with the vehicle. I feel like they need to be more proactive. I talked about this so many times, like, they played, I think they are proactive enough to go inside of the circle, but they weren't proactive enough to actually take the fights. And with this sort of aggressive sort of team, sometimes you just have to take the initiative. You have to cripple them a little bit so they can't do anything. I'm not saying they knew which team it was, but because, well, you can already have an idea that these teams are playing aggressive, so what can we do to cripple their firepower, regardless of which team it is?
Yeah. Well, it's not so easy to just sort of encroach onto someone else's territory, right? Because a lot of the strength for teams that take the initiative, it actually lies behind their own confidence in their skill, because it takes a lot of not only self-confidence, but also confidence in your teammates to be able to back you up once you are in those fights. So it's difficult to do, especially for a team that isn't used to playing like that. We aren't 100% sure if N1K are a team that can take initiative. They might be in the same situation as SAF. Maybe this is another team that generally likes to play the playstyle where they maximize points, right?
Yeah.
Like we play passive until
This
the
time
late
around they're
game.
doing so much better though. I mean, earlier they did get knocked out quite early. This is the time where I was actually surprised they got 4th place, but this is the standings for game number 4 though, 24-19. SES looking way better this time compared to before. SYZ though takes 3rd place, 12, and DG as well. Epic as well looks a lot better as well with 8, and 1K with 7 with 0 kills though. GOW with 4 kills gives them 6 points, my bad. SEF looked this time with 5 points, NC with 3, KOG as well as the other team with 1, and one team with 0. I think getting 0 is very dangerous for these kind of play-in styles.
So we've got the total standings here. Now, HQ making their way up to 1st place again after their booyah. Congratulations.
I don't think they would like trading places with SYC.
Well, it's going to be a race between the two, right? Like, these guys are going to be competing for first.
So far for cutting you. SYZ has no booyahs.
They don't need booyahs. This is a team that's mostly going for kills, and they're consistent. This is a word that we generally use on the English panel. Teams don't need to get booyahs as long as they're consistently performing across their games.
I think in terms of getting placements, you know, I just realized they have been getting top 5 throughout, so you know, 62 points for them, 69 for HQ, KOG with 44. We're beginning to see that little, you know, that little gap between 2nd place and 3rd place as well. KOG, especially because last round we're seeing like 3 teams doing better, but KOG went out a bit early, so that's the reason for the gap. But I think KOG might be coming out a little bit more stronger in the next round. I feel like these type of teams, right? Like we saw that happen to HQ. Next round they just go crazy. Maybe it will be the same for KOG.
Maybe. I think for me, there's definitely going to be a race for that 3rd spot now, right?
Yeah, for sure. They need to maximize the points, but the most dangerous thing about being in day 1 is that for day 2 players, they're going to be like, okay, we need to get this much points in order to, at 3rd place, in order to make it to the next round. So when they have a benchmark, that's a little bit more crazy because you are just going to sit there and watch and just pray that they don't come to that amount of points that you have.
So the question is, what's going to be the game plan moving forward? Because we're now going into our final 2 games, and it's the first map before the final game. It's Kalahari. It's not a map everyone loves to play. It's a really tough map. It's also a very punishing map. We could see a
we saw that
change in the
happen
leaderboard.
to Shira just now. That was the punishment. Oh man, that was divine punishment. That he was like, it was just like one misstep, one single misstep.
It could just be like one little breeze, right? Like you just got pushed like. Like, oh, oops, sorry.
yeah. That's painful. I felt that in my heart. That's why I was screaming, because I felt that. It's happened.
I thought he did it on
me.
purpose. I personally thought he did it on purpose, and
thought
that he
that
had
too.
a grappling hook on him to be able to like grapple to the wall, but then it just didn't happen. I was like, oh,
He didn't have a plan B. He was like, I made
Yeah.
it this far, now what? I guess I'll die. But for now though, we're gonna be taking a quick break, and after this, Kalahari match number 5. And we'll see you guys in a little while.
This November, we are very excited to announce a tournament dedicated solely to the Asia region. Free Fire Asia Championship, featuring professional local teams across Asia. A total of 31 top pro teams from 7 regional leagues will be competing to determine who is the best in Asia. Vietnam, Thailand, and Indonesia will each claim 5 spots in this competition, while India, Pakistan, Chinese Taipei, and the Malaysia, Cambodia, Philippines region each gets 4 slots. Free Fire Asia Championship will be held fully online in Battle Royale mode with 2 phases, play-ins and the grand finals. 7 local champions move directly onto the grand finals, and the rest will battle it out during play-ins for the 5 remaining spots. For play-ins, 24 teams will be split into 2 groups, A and B, based on the drawing results. Each group will have at least 1 and a maximum of 2 teams from each regional league. Group A matches will be held on November 20th, and Group B will have their matches on November 21st. Teams will be competing over 6 rounds across 3 maps, Bermuda, Purgatory, and Kalahari. First and second seed from Groups A and B will advance to the final stage. The last slot will be awarded to the 3rd place team from either Group A or Group B, based on which team has accumulated more points in the play-ins. The finals will take place on November 28th, where the 5 teams from play-ins will then battle against the 7 local champions for the title of the best Free Fire squad in Asia. 12 finalists will compete together for 7 rounds in 3 available maps, with the last map being randomly picked. Stay tuned to our YouTube channels for the latest news, and we'll see you soon.
Menurut gua 3 negara yang kuat tuh ada Thailand, Vietnam, sama Malaysia karena mereka semua disiplin.
FFesports là sân chơi của Việt Nam, Thái Lan và Indo. Các nước còn lại không quan tâm.
अगर बेस्ट 3 घंटे की बात बोलूँ मैं एशिया चैम्पियनशिप में तो एक थाईलैंड हो गई, एक अपनी वियतनाम हो गई, इंडोनेशिया हो गई, क्योंकि बिकॉज यहाँ की टीमें वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन भी रह चुकी हैं और हाँ काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस है। तो that's why.
Theo mình 3 quốc gia mạnh nhất đó là Thái Lan, Indo và Việt Nam. Thì Thái Lan và Indo đã từng vô địch thế giới.
ประเทศที่1ก็ไทยครับประเทศที่2ก็ไทย3ก็ไทยครับ
थाईलैंड वियतनाम और फिलीपींस फिलीपींस मुझे साफ बहुत पर्सनली पसंद है थाईलैंड से किंग ऑफ गेमर और वियतनाम से HQ Esports
คิดว่ามีทีมไทยกี่ทีมเข้าสู่รอบไฟนอลเหรอครับผมคิดว่าทีมไทยทุกทีมมีโอกาสเข้ารอบไฟนอลหมดเลยครับอยู่ที่จังหวะแล้วก็ทามมิ่งครับ
ทั้งหมด 5 ทีมครับทีมยืนไปแล้ว1ทีมเพราะว่าทีมไทยเก่งทุกทีมครับ
Menurut aku Thailand pantas mendapatkan 5 slot tersebut karena mereka menjuarai di turnamen sebelumnya.
Mình nghĩ là không, vì chưa chắc biết được điều gì. Tại vì ở chung kết thế giới thì đã có một đội tuyển ở Thái Lan rất là mạnh và họ đã bị rớt lại khỏi chung kết.
मुझे नहीं लगता FFesports के फाइनल में थाईलैंड की 5 टीमें होगी।
कवर करना जरूरी है, लेकिन यहाँ पर ग्रेनेड काम आएगा, बिल्कुल काम आया, डाउन किया, कीड़ा, उधर ग्रेनेड, टीम से शट डाउन, टीम आउट ऑफ द
Menurut gue sendiri tim Indonesia yang akan lolos itu insya Allah 5-5-nya bisa lolos karena udah ketahuan dari meta kita dan tim Indonesia emang kuat banget.
Việt Nam sẽ có 3 đội tham dự vào chung kết. Gao và Heavy sẽ đi tiếp. HQ và Box không có cửa.
Vị trí của Mr. 07 đang rong ruổi chiếc xe và mục tiêu anh ta hướng tới là Bird the Sky. Phía này Bell đang lọt vào tầm ngắm. Góc cua này đâm được Bell và tiếp tục dí theo Mr. 07 đang có tầm bắn là quá tốt. Bật hào quang hộ mạnh chui ra giữa đội hình của Bird the Sky và không có bất kỳ một cửa nào dành cho DQS cùng với Cassin. Có thể tiến công vào vòng bo, cả Mr. 07 ném thêm một quả đầu đạn và đó là quét sạch Bird the Sky chỉ trong một tình huống mà thôi. Tại sao có thể làm được như vậy trong pha xử lý lần này? Đâm ngã đội trưởng, ném lựu đạn, quét sạch phần còn lại của đội hình. Mr. 07 quá tuyệt vời. Quá hay, chỉ có thể nói là quá hay trong tình huống vừa rồi đến từ sói thần mà thôi.
Đội tuyển mạnh nhất bảng A, nhất là Gao.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Free Fire Asia Championships 2021. I'm Tash, but your caster today alongside Danily, and we've seen the first 4 matches for today, and HK, KOG, as well as SYZ, and just absolutely something else.
We're already starting to see, I want to say, the big 3, right? Popping up on the leaderboard. But we have competition. We've got teams up until 5th that are actually in the running to potentially take that 3rd spot away from King of Gamers. And I feel like King of Gamers are going to be slapping themselves right now as well because they probably did the biggest mistake ever.
That was the silliest fight. I think one thing we saw from KOG as well as HQ as well, we saw that underestimation, that not that underestimation, but the cockiness that came out. They're like, oh, we're doing so well for the past few games, let's go for it, let's just mow people down. And you know,
I would say it was like a high, right? Like you just got 2 PRs and you're on an emotional high. So you're probably thinking like, oh, we're actually doing so well. Yeah. Let's try something. And it's like, you want to try now?
That's why, you know, I remember there was this one team, I think it was Blacklist International, I can't remember. They have an emotional coach which kind of keeps their emotions in check. And it's actually so surprising when you think about it. Like these kind of teams that we don't really hear teams having emotional coaches. We have nutritionists, dietitians, coaches.
Actually, I've never heard of an esports team having
nutritionists. Exactly. So when you have emotional coaches, right, it does keep your emotions in check. And there are some teams, I remember, I can't remember which team it was. Was it Fastkill? I can't remember where the circle was just not in their favor. They were just so tilted. And I think this kind of teams actually, this kind of teams that have emotional coaches help to reset their mental when they go to the next match. Because sometimes you're having 2-3 matches in a row that's not so well, or maybe they have a last match they got knocked out so early, and that's also another thing that can kind of like mess with your brains. People usually talk about player skill, they talk about player communication, but how often do people talk about that mentality?
It's something that's really starting to pop up in esports, and I feel like so Free Fire's esports scene is still rather new, right? So we're not
it's
really
still a baby, I would say. I mean, they're
infant stage, right? So a lot of teams are not really thinking about the whole idea of like, why should I have a coach that tells me to feel happy or sad, right? Like that's basically how people see it. It's like, I don't need a therapist on the team. I am mentally sane. No, folks, that's not.
I think like everyone should have. I'm not saying everyone needs a therapist, but everyone needs that mental reset. I feel like one of
you
the
need someone
biggest
to slap you when you need a slapping. I know it sounds terrible, but I guess
can you really shake it off? Like, it's just one game to shake it off. Like, can you really though?
Yeah. So I guess something that the audience might be able to relate to is that, let's say you've had a game and you narrowly missed out on the booyah because you did something silly, and you look back on it and you keep beating yourself up over this very tiny, stupid play that just happened in one game. You would linger on that unfortunately. And that's just how it happens when you play. And you need someone who slap you. That's why you have emotional matches.
I need one, Danny. Sometimes I slap myself when I say stupid things that I can't.
I just realized I have a name for this now. These coaches, they are called emotional masseuses.
Oh no.
Slap them.
Oh no.
Okay, anyways, game started. Now
wait, SE and DGE are dropping together. DGE, you cannot take this. We have seen your firepower. Are you really that confident? Let's see how it works. But now the heart drops outside. Insane's already inside. But let's see how it goes. Thanos already. He doesn't have a gun. No, he does not. He has one small little gun. Some damage onto Insane. Half HP left. Will be repositioning himself. But DGE, though, where are you going? Where are you going, DGE?
I don't think they're really in the best place. Oh, they managed to actually get the knockdown onto Thanos. Thanos is dead!
Oh yes!
Thanos! Oh, Thanos is down! Not Den is actually going to be going down as well. They do get the drop onto Shanti 15, but it's still a very close race here. Harsh goes down as well, and it's only going to be Alex left on the side of DGE. I think mistakes have been made, but this was a very expensive fight. It was a very expensive fight for SCS, Tash. They only have 2 members left.
It really was. Honestly, though, I was just saying that DGE does not have the firepower for this. They were confident enough to get 2 kills, but was it worth it, though? You got Thanos, but at what cost?
Nah.
I'm sorry, I had to say it. But if you look at where Epic is, though, they're actually at the foundation, and they have the blue zone, which means they're gonna be a very stocked up for later. I'm trying to HQ though does go to the maze this time around. Funky M all alone on that side though. I think he knows that he's pretty much all alone. If they rotate down to Mammoth though, I mean they can move throughout so much area because that whole area of the map where they are, there's no one there.
Not like they really have that information, right? So maybe they'll just make their way down slowly, have someone scout it out, and maybe see if they're actually.
There's no one to kill here, guys. Go the other way.
Free stuff. Anyways, so just taking a look at DG's position. So Tash, what were the names of the teams that we had to look out for? It was SCS, right? So SCS is in 4th place. Was it DG?
DG
in
no.
5th? Who was in 5th?
I'm not too sure actually. I have forgotten. I told you this. Okay, I'm so sorry to those of you who don't know me. I am someone with not a lot of brain space, if you may. So, some information situation doesn't, and it looks like the standings did not stick in my mind, but it's gonna be a surprise one. It's gonna be exciting. But again, though, if you look at Refinery, NC is still here, and NC though, I mean, after that major mistake there, I mean, it is a high ground though. But if the circle goes a little bit right or left, the punishment, not great.
Yeah, it's not too great. It's a bit early though, so I think once they see the circle
Oh, they have
slowly
a
start.
switch in players. Did you notice?
Oh, I didn't. So who's playing now for
Vegeta
NC?
06 came in.
Vegeta
and-
06.
Yeah, and 77 out.
Oh, interesting.
They're like 77 is not lucky enough for us. Bring in the 06.
Pretty interesting though, because this is the 5th game. So they're
Yeah.
playing with him suddenly on Kalahari. Maybe Vegeta's better on Kalahari? It just
Perhaps.
could be internet issues as well, right? Like you have
Yeah.
stand-ins just in case.
I just want to say that I really like Neo Now's skin. It's so cool. It's like a pirate, you know?
I actually like jackets like that. It's
I wish
very
they don't fall off
anime.
your shoulder. I wish they don't fall off your shoulder in real life, though.
Someone can make a jacket like that, and then they just put little backpack straps on it, but they have to make the backpack straps like match whatever t-shirt you're wearing, so you
Oh, that
don't
would be
see
really
it
cool.
stick to your clothes.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. But Neo Now, I feel like Neo Now is a very interesting player. He's so aggressive. I love his flanks. I love how aggressive he can get, and I love how he's like, "Let me be the big guys. I got this."
That's what he is, right? Like he definitely feels like he's the bait. He's also the scout, and he's also the one that sort of starts things off with the team. So
Yep.
So it's just like that.
There you go. Knock onto the new player.
really?
That was a very short-lived moment. Will they? Oh nope, he's going out to the lobby.
gone.
He just started. Give him a chance, guys.
He just started playing. Oh goodness. Maybe NC are just destined to play with 3 players. Who knows?
Perhaps that's what happened so many times. But Epic though, they want the refinery. They want what NC has. The grass is always green on the other side, but SYZ is at the bottom side. There's so many players here, but Epic are now so low, getting shot from the back. But NC Psych though coming from the side. SYZ Patrick taking in some damage. We're gonna see a 3-way fight over here. Epic Liam playing very, very safe on the side here. But that's the downsides of playing on the high ground, because when you're on the other side of the map, you'll be able to pick you off of really, really far away. And the thing is, SYZ though, they don't want to stay. They're like, yeah, we're gonna move over to the other side. But it looks like F5MT is also on the other side. There's so many players here. What's going on?
There's actually another team that's trying to come up onto the high ground here. They're not on the map yet, but we will see if they do continue to go up. I believe one of the players on SYZ scouted them out as they were coming down the hill, but so far the action it's going to be between Epic, NC, and not so much SYZ. This team actually decided to just sort of forfeit the area. I think they just wanted to see if there was extra loot down towards the bottom, see if maybe they can stick their nose in where it doesn't belong.
POW on the aggressive, they're gonna push to 5 empty. Black Hawk taking half damage already. Why is GOW so aggressive? Ranger from the side gets 2. He's gonna go for the space on the inside. You can see that the Ranger so hits right over there. He finishes 1 member off. He's gonna push forward upstairs. Right now, 2Cut though already been revived. He'll be healing up. But if you look at on the side there, Epic EO does get a kill onto 1 player of NC.
Whoa, actually there's going to be action happening in the middle of the map. Oh, McRory actually managing to get a drop with a grenade somewhere else on the map as well. So we are starting to...
He's upstairs! They're just waiting! The grenade comes inside!
Oh.
Will he does get one in! One in is in trouble now! Well, where's his teammate? Judge is outside, but he has been eliminated. They're gonna find the other member here. 5MT has been spotted out, and that is the end. 5MT couldn't do anything to defend their compound.
DEAD dead, Tash, and they were very dead after that. That was a really good way to flash.
NC! Oh my god, Epic on the aggressive. This was a very long fight, Danny. I think you noticed that?
It was really... I mean, we weren't even there when they had the fight, right? Like, we were there when they were having the stalemate.
No, they had some damage in. They were shooting each other, but nothing happened. And it was like a stalemate because SYZ came in. And then after that, we went away and they were still fighting. And we came back, they're still fighting. And Epic came out with 4 players still up. And see, the thing is, they dropped there. They were holding that area. But did they not have a plan on how we're going to hold on to that compound?
I mean, if you're going to stay on that compound, you've got to have a plan, because you don't have an exit strategy, right? You can't just simply drop down to the bottom because you're going to take a lot of fall damage. In some cases, someone's going to be waiting for them, which it was SYZ, right? Like, they were sharking around the bottom of the compound, so it was either do or die. And unfortunately, it's just going to be it for NC. The team has been eliminated. Now, we are going to put our eyes back onto HQ. This is currently our leading team on the leaderboard. no action so far. The team has been exclusively looting, and they even decided to go to the very bottom left-hand corner of the map onto the Mammoth. So it's a bit of a quiet game for
I
HQ.
did? Oh, what? I called that out and they went there. Yeah. I'm scared. Am I the prophet?
Could be the Jinx as well, right?
That would be hilarious, but they're actually tanking the zone right now. I wonder why they decided to do that.
Wait, sorry, what?
They're tanking the zone, aren't they? Yeah, they are. They're outside.
So the first couple zones are really not an issue. Like, you can easily just outrun it. It's mostly the third zone where teams really want to avoid staying in the zone.
Hurts.
Yeah, third zone's when it really starts to hurt. And then from there on, it's like, don't play in the zone. Get out.
Oh yeah, for sure though. This is SAF. They have 4 kills already. They're pretty happy. But SEF, they have this area, but it's a big area with only 2 players. How are they going to hold on to it? But it doesn't look like SAF wants to push up that way. They want to rotate another area. But N1K is on the other side.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see again. SAF, they're really playing it slowly. They're trying to maximize their points. They are just not eager to go for any of these skirmishes. I mean, as someone that's been watching, you included as well, but both of us, because we've been following the Malaysia-Philippines league, it's just very bizarre for us to not really see SAF do much in these matches.
Yeah,
right?
Usually it's them on the screen all the time. Seeing the spotlight onto these new teams is just really eye-opening for me because it shows a different sort of playstyle from a lot of teams.
And the skill gap, right? Because
yes,
you can
absolutely.
see the very distinct top-tier teams, and then you have just sort of the average Joes. Unfortunately.
I wouldn't say that Firepower is team game, but Forbids though gets 1 kill onto N1K. Forbids, as I said before, Forbids and his sniper, very, very scary, and I'm glad we finally got to see it this time around. And they are actually inside of the danger zone, but will be moving away. And you mentioned this earlier, a lot of the Malaysian Philippines teams, they don't want to play in the danger zone, they don't want to take unnecessary damage. And in a way, it's kind of a smart thing because they don't want to take too much damage. But Wochan just hiding there, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna just keep quiet over here. I don't want to. I don't want no trouble, you know.
Yeah, he's just sitting tight, just got his diaper strapped on. You know, he's ready for anything.
He's ready to change pants for sure.
Yeah, every time you hear somebody, you're just like, oh god.
But look at Epic Ung though with the snipe onto Return, and it's just so unlucky because Return will be returning to the lobby, and Return was, I think, definitely one of the hard hitters for the team. Is not going to be good for them losing him.
Yeah, I do think this is going to be a really big impact on the team because you've lost, as you said, right? Like we've said this. He's been constantly on the leaderboard in terms of most impactful player in the game. So to lose him, it makes you wonder: is SYZ going to be able to finish this map out? Are they actually going to drop early because they can't finish these kills? Yeah. I don't think it's all on Return. I do think their team in general, they're all skilled players. Their strategy, when they execute strategies,
wait, hold on. What is happening over here? GOW again with the aggression. They are going against SAF right over here. GOW also, Low Ranger will be the first one knocked down. McRory with the shotgun. So aggressive. They are ready for this PQC. But McRory, though, look how much damage he put in with the shotgun. SAF just pushing forward. Mr. 07 just trying to do something. Already triple from McRory. Mr. 07 all alone trying to juke it out. 1-2, but GOW does go down, but you see how much damage he did before he went down.
Yeah, and he actually decided to just be like, I'm gonna use all my glue walls. Maybe I can try and get a kill before I go down.
Yeah,
he was very close.
Some damage.
Yeah. I think in situations like that, right, some teams don't really know when they're going to go down, and they don't fully utilize their inventory. So using those glue walls, using those grenades, because they think maybe I could survive, but sometimes that maybe it's just so slim where it's probably better off to just use everything. If you survive, yay. If you don't survive, hopefully you manage to get a knock or at least a pick off before you go down,
it's
right?
It's basically a great mentality. It's like, I never give up. Even though I'm the last man alive. I will never give up. But it does show a different side from SAF, though. I was just talking about firepower from SAF, and this is what I wanted to see. That aggression from their side, that, you know, they're not too passive. But SAF, though, hunkering down in one area like that, not great, because one grenade will knock them out of the game. We've seen that happen before to them in the MCP majors, so maybe they should kind of spread out a bit. I'm just worried for them. By this point, though, you can see Feng there fighting against the last member of N1K on that side there, but SEF, I think they heard the gunshots and they want to go to that side.
All right, Tash, so we're getting really close to our final circles. We're getting a lot of action towards that bottom left corner of the map, but I think a team to watch out for, it's going to be DG. And the question as well, where's the circle going to be after this, right?
Yeah.
Because it's already going to be very tight.
Low ground.
I have a feeling it could be high ground, but we'll find out in just a moment as the teams, they're going to have to try to desperately make their way into the circle.
But damage! Oh, it takes a little bit there, but we'll be able to move back. I'm just so glad that it didn't knock him out of the game. But Taisando does have the care package right over here. It gives him a little bit of an edge. He tries to snipe out the members for Epic, but doesn't quite hit. But the grenade from Neo now, though, does knock one out. Epic in trouble. Epic PCW already out of the game. Artemis kind of low, has to heal up. But Neo now! Neo now!
Oh my god!
Neo now! You guys are you're just making it rain! You're just making it rain so bad! Those are not names, those are meteorites!
Oh no, I thought I was raining blood. That was a very, very big grenade.
Yeah, this is not good. Oh man, but for now though, EO all alone. But look at SYZ, they're playing on the high ground. They are putting all their eggs into one basket. But for now though, you can see that SAF Daemon gets knocked down. DG from that side. You can see there are more shots coming from the Forbits playing in the back. Honestly, really good for him because he wants to be able to play support and just clean up if he can. But HQ though, Forbits though does get a knock onto Artemis. Forbits though will be knocked back in return. Let's Go will be returning the fire onto that pen. HQ will have to reposition.
Look at the circle. Okay, so it's literally on the edge of the cliff.
Oh man. It's like, it's okay. I mean, I just want to say something. You know, like indecisiveness from your significant other. This is it. Where do you want to eat?
On the cliff. But the thing is though, okay, so this is going to be a very tight squeeze for SYZ. Like the team hardly has any room to work with. But okay, but here's the thing. This could be a double-edged sword. Okay, the reason being is that if they don't get all the pickoffs now and that zone creeps towards the low ground, the team is forced to go cliff diving. And there's no way they survive.
But for now, though, you can see aggression coming from the side of HQ. They want SAF out of the way. Daemon takes a little bit of damage from the circle, but that's okay. They're going to be playing at the side of the fence there. But Ikam all alone from that side. And I think they're very, very aware. Ikam already taking a lot of damage from that. Nikki, the woo! Extreme driving. They make it down alive. And Nikki tries to run forward, but Neo now gets hit, but not quite enough to do anything just yet. Meanwhile, though, Neo now still, despite getting hit so many times, he doesn't care. He still gets knocked down. But Tyson, though, will be knocked out. But SAF will be out of the game. 2 members left, and that's the end. This is the Booyah. Which team is it? And it's going to be HQ once again. Third one. Are you serious right now?
That was some funny shenanigans from SYZ. I mean, just like riding around on the motorbike and just getting...
I got a little bit of wee out of that too.
Roadkill, Tash. That's TLDR roadkill. Unfortunately, SYZ, they weren't really able to... They couldn't get the booyah, right? Like, that was very unfortunate. And it's just...
I give them extra points for style. I mean, it's not officially in the points, but you get some from me, though.
Things could have been completely different if the circle actually ended up on the high ground, because I think if it was on the high ground, it would have been an easy... Yeah, it would have been an easy game for SYZ. But because it was on the low ground, they were forced.
HQ played it though? They did it so many times. They hugged the side. And that's honestly really smart. I see that team and KOG, they do that so many times where they're not sure when the circle's gonna be, they hug the cliff. And honestly, that's genius when you think of it. But you know, as I said before, SYZ really put all their eggs in that basket. And that comes down to luck. They were just unlucky when it comes to that.
I really think it was also really down to luck. I think
HQ getting really lucky tonight. Why?
I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure about HQ getting lucky, but I also think it was maybe SYZ not being able to fully capitalize on the position that they were in. So
they got knocked out by 4 bits first, right? One member got knocked out first.
So the thing is that in most situations, you want to be in SYZ's position, just because when you're on a cliff that tall, it's really hard to get any pickoffs on players that are up that cliff. And everyone is also on the low ground, so they have to constantly watch they have to cover their sides, their back, because there's other teams that they have to worry about. But SYZ, what they had to do was to try and get all of their pickoffs while they still had access to the cliff, because as soon as the cliff wasn't available to them and they had to start jumping down, that's when not only do you lose your advantage, but it's a massive opening for the opposition to just go for easy picks onto your team.
Absolutely.
So if things could have been different, if maybe SYZ were able to plan it differently, if they had players on the low ground to maybe flush the opponents out, to start baiting for some of these kills, then we could have seen something different, because the entire team just stayed on that cliff. Nobody wanted to preemptively come down.
Yeah, I mean, this comes back to being proactive, but for now though, key player Neo now 1.4k damage with 4 kills, not the highest we've seen, but enough. I would say he is the key player because he makes space for his team. He got knocked by the motorcycle so many times, but he didn't care. He still got a knock out of that. He was like, hit me again, I dare you. And yeah, definitely worth it this time around, but the one that will be getting the kill leader will be a Patrick with 4 kills, Neo now with 4, and Joju actually with 4 as well. And we are seeing HK just dominate with this. And honestly, when it comes to positioning and picks, right, we saw SAF, they had a great compound. You know, they have a great I mean they don't have the high ground, but compared to the two, I think SAF definitely has it better. But HQ was not hesitant to push in and get the kills, finish them off before they deal with SYZ. That's number one. Number two, they're like, oh, or maybe another reason why that happened was because, oh, okay, that's fine, because SYZ can just jump off a cliff for all I care, just take that damage. So let's deal with a team that's likely gonna give us more problems later, which was SAF.
Right. So Tash, this was game 5. Next game, Purgatory. It's also the final game of the night. And this is essentially the last hurrah for some of these teams, especially once you're trying to make it to top 3, because just a reminder to all of our viewers as well, we have 2 groups. So today is Group A, tomorrow is going to be Group B. Only the top 3 from today's group are going to move on. Everyone else, unfortunately, will be eliminated. So it all comes down to this final game. I honestly think first and second are locked in. I think there is no way that anyone that's not in first or second is going to be able to get it. Third place could be in the air. Yes. And it really comes down to this last game, like who
because
is going to perform.
We did see a gap for KOG there, like 20 points, and KOG didn't really get any points this time around though. But looking at that though, I mean, we come back to that. It's just so unlucky when it comes to KOG. I feel like this KOG is one of those teams where when they pop off, they really pop off, but when they don't, this is what happens. Despite the 2 booyahs today, was it really enough? Although compared to SYZ, who were just playing for, you know, for placement points and kills, and honestly that was smart. And I think like when I look at SAF as well, they are very, very similar to SYZ, but just not as aggressive in terms of kills. But meanwhile, though, this is the standings for game number 5, though. But SAF, hello, what? How?
12 kills, Sash. 12 kills.
Oh man, this was the aggression I was talking about earlier. That SAF that I wanted to see. I mean, you mentioned it too. They are greedy, but this time around, they're like, you know what? Let's change it up. Instead of going for placements, let's just actively look for kills.
I mean,
they managed to get 12 out of it. That's more than what HQ got.
Calm down. Oh gosh, Tash,
I'm so sorry.
Calm down.
I was high on caffeine.
I know you're very excited. So looking at the final standings, they look like they were going for these kills, but I'm still firmly going to stand my ground and say that they did. At the end of the day, they maximized, right? Like this is what SAF wanted. Oh my god, they're in 4th place.
Oh, that was a huge jump for them. That was
Hello?
a very, very big, huge.
Welcome to the leaderboard, SAF.
They're just 2 points behind SES, but look at HQ and SYZ. They have pretty much solidified their lead, and SAF, if they can, I mean, we've seen SAF do this so many times. They can just come back with so many booyahs in a row. We've seen it happen before, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again, because I mean, we talked about this so many times as well, like how some teams, they don't want to use their secret strats until later. So is this the secret strat that we've been talking about?
I mean, it had to have been, right? I mean, this was game 5. You've only got one more game that is going to be happening after this.
Yeah.
So it could be a case of the secret strat, or I'm gonna fairly say SAF are pretty happy. I think.
Okay, sorry, I'm so sorry. This is so cheesy, but you've played those JRPGs, or they're like, my friends are my power. Could this be that final that last minute buff when you think that all hope is gone and suddenly a ray of light comes down and just get this secret power? What if that's what's going on for SAF?
Like, here's the issue though. Like, this is not even the final boss, right? Like, this is the first mini boss.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
for
first
sure.
mini boss of the series, and then it's like, okay, if you use the power of friendship now, what do you have left? Are you waiting for plot armor to happen all of a sudden?
That's the power of the parents, maybe. Oh, maybe it's the power of the parents.
All right.
Mom buff, remembering what your mom said. Well, she made, like, you know, in Ratatouille, he had a bite of the ratatouille. He's like, remembering his childhood, and he turned nice.
The thing is, contextual. In terms of context, like, that works in a movie based on food, but we're looking at Free Fire Dash. Like, how are you gonna think of your parents? Oh my god.
My mom said that I wouldn't get anywhere in video games, but look at me now, Mom.
Look at me, Mom. Look at me. I shoot pixel guns. I guess it's better than real guns, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. For now, though, let's talk a little bit about what we can expect in the last. It's gonna be predatory.
Lots.
Yeah, it's gonna be predatory. The thing is, HQ is just so far ahead. 86 points compared to 70 plus from SYZ. SYZ doesn't have a booyah. We know this because of the point system. It does allow them to move forward. So this is a very different system from the battle royales we've seen out there in terms of format. And it does give those teams priority, or at least a choice or wriggle room in terms of when they don't get a booyah. But this is the last match of the night. The flight path will be from the
east to west.
So yeah, east to west. And I think in terms of distribution, if you're gonna go to Moat House or or Moat House is gonna be the problem, but the rest of the places I don't think it's gonna be an issue. But I didn't see any teams at Moat House before, anyways.
Oh, okay, Tash. So we've got a couple of teams landing right on top of each other, as you can see already. We've got DG landing in with. Is that D? I can't see. It's red. I can't see red for some reason.
Oh my god,
Not
SYZ
colorblind.
is right beside Epic, but they are in different areas. But I'm just wondering. But SYZ, though, they can be aggressive if they want to. But if you look at how they play, though, they tend to wait for other teams to get to them first. But look at where each teams have gone. DG is going toward the Forge. That's the area they have. DGE will be right beside SAF. And the thing is, we've seen this happen sometimes. Why does DGE like to drop beside other teams? Is this the team that, like, nothing to lose, just want to bother people at this point? Is this it?
It's the strat, Tash. That's the strat. Speaking of strat. All right, so a couple of teams need to keep our eye on.
Oh, Danny, I just realized something. That's why they got together, SYZ and Epic. It's the blue zone. It's the blue area.
Okay, well, we're currently shooting at each other.
Oh, SAF already on the aggressive against DGE, and you can see that actually this may just go on the side of SAF. They are pushing in. DGE trouble right now. They're hiding behind of the area right now, and 4bits is just playing it real safe. But SYZ, though, already getting a kill of their own. 4bits playing it real safe. They already have weapons. McRory coming from the side. He managed to. McRory being McRory, he loves the flank. Gets one, and another one already down. DGE is in trouble.
I think that might just be it for DGE's run, to be honest. I know Harsh is the only one left alive, but I think he's able to get out of there. So I got one survivor. Wait, what?
Nearly game mode. Oh my god. He got 4bits too. Are you serious?
They don't get the
kill.
Tash. He didn't get the kills.
That's really annoying though.
Unfortunate. Alright, so very quickly, 2 teams you're going to look out for. So top 2 positions you have to watch out for, of course, HQ, SYZ. Now the next teams we need to look out for, we've got 4, okay? So competing for 3rd place, it's SES, SAF, King of Gamers, and DG. Okay, these are the 4 teams that are in the running to potentially make it to the next stage.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
we gotta keep an eye out on them.
Aggressive against NC? They're waiting. Is that Mountville? Do they know? She knows.
It's HQ. It's HQ. Okay?
Oh, she knows.
You gotta trust
Oh,
them.
yeah, she knows.
No
they know. They know
Artemis.
now. They can hear the footsteps. Artem is still waiting. Shira taking a lot of damage over there. Not quite jumping in. He takes a little bit of damage. Funky Emma already knocked down though. But we have to wait a little bit more. We have a little bit of technical damage, and we'll be back here with our faces. I'm sorry, you have to look at mine.
We lost our feed, unfortunately. We'll be going back to the feed in just a moment. So
I am actually frustrated. I really want to know what happened in that fight because one member of HQ did get knocked down. This is a horrible cliffhanger, Danny.
Tash, where are you gonna put your marbles? I think I'm putting my marbles on HQ.
HQ, yeah.
HQ? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll find out in just a moment if
wins,
HQ
I will
survives.
yell. Okay, we're gonna go back into the game. Let's see what happens. But we can't see it because right now we're seeing 5MT right next to GOW. But GOW being really passive, but 5MT will be the one to take initiative to push forward. But Ranger though is already in the back. He is throwing some shots forward, putting in the damage so that they're not able to push forward into the area. And now 5MT just sandwiched inside of the house. They're gonna push forward. They didn't see. He tried to go from the back, but Waleed in trouble. Evil Star gonna reposition himself. 2 blue walls already out. Will be going inside the compound, and Ranger still over there. Yeah, just spinning around. Let's go here.
Huh?
What's happening? They're just jumping. Oh, there we go. He had a nade in his hand. He got so lucky, but Tuka, what were you thinking having a nade in your hand like that?
I think he was trying to cook up the grenade, but it was just a little bit too slow. Evil Star, they're gonna try and make it back for his team. He gets the cut down onto Blackhawk. Oh, I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it though. We've still got 2 people alive. Now it's gonna be down to 1. It's only Ranger. GOW, are you gonna be able to do it? But you have almost no health to work with. Ranger!
Oh my god, he doesn't, but he's only 2 members left. This is so dangerous right now. 2 members left. They did win that, but again, at what cost?
Oh my god, Ranger did it.
Wait, look at HQ. All of them are still alive. They did it.
The marbles. The power of marbles, Tash.
I wish I saw what happened though. Oh man, that would have been so good. But the thing is, the only team still outside of the circle is HQ, and I'm not surprised. HQ likes to play outside the circle, comes in a little bit late, and for some reason their strat works. At this point, why change what's not broken?
Exactly right. If the strats are working for them, then just continue on playing how you're comfortable. And the same thing here with King of Gamers. I noticed King of Gamers love to play along the road.
Oh yeah. Why? What's the advantage here, Danny?
I don't really see an advantage playing on the road, to be completely honest. I guess it's just just flex. I mean, they're using a vehicle, right, for a soccer, so
yeah, it does make sense. But it looks like SES though, they are in one area. They are gonna get aggressive, so that's why they were there. Fong already so low right now. Will Kevin finish him off? Not quite. He will have to reposition. He's gonna blow that up, but it doesn't do any damage onto the players downside there. But you can see there are 3 glue walls already out, and they have already repositioned themselves, and they're making sure that none of the teammates are inside the same area in case they get blown up.
But the thing is, are they going to be able to fend off King of Gamers, right? Because SES, their tournament lifeline is on the line, right? Like, these 2 teams are competing for 3rd place.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if these 2 teams do clash, whoever wins is going to have a massive upper hand over the other when it comes to the leaderboard. So all eyes going to be on SES and King of Gamers here. So who's going to make the first move? So far, it's King of Gamers being the ones to apply the pressure, but I mean, we've seen it before. SES, they have got strats hidden behind their sleeves, Tash.
Yep, for now though, KOG is still on the high ground. So whoever's down there though, they already lost 1 car. And I think think that's great for them because they're being really smart. They're gonna get rid of all mobility that they have, and they're gonna try and sandwich them there and just move forward if they can. SEF will be hiding inside of the hut over there, not huts but building. But honestly, I can see why they decided to take this fight because they are SES is gatekeeping. They don't, even though they can move into the circle, they're just gonna make sure and just waste KOG's time as much as they can. But they'll be like, okay, this is KOG. We don't really want to pick a fight with them. We're going to reposition a little bit deeper inside the circle in case we need to retreat. And honestly, that's a really smart move.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm very sure they don't even know it's King of Gamers at this point. But I wonder if things would have changed if they knew it's King of Gamers, because they're essentially rivals at this point, right? Since you're both eyeing that third place. But for now, as the two are able to disengage, we're going to be following SYZ and their posse of vehicles. I'm not really sure how to describe this. It's like a biker gang, right? Like these guys just literally owning the map.
They look at how much area they can cover, and no one is shooting at them. And the lack of shooting toward vehicles is actually so surprising to me because like they're on bikes, it's so much easier. But there you go, the shots are out. But Nikki though barely takes any damage from that. He just whizzing around. And as I said before, you're just allowing them to take all that to allow them to move. And for now though, Patrick will be getting one return against Brian from the other side. And SYZ, look at that. DG just allows SYZ to move wherever they want. And because of that mobility, this is just paying off so badly. But Return has been knocked down, but he will be avenged and he'll be able to revive no problem thanks to his teammate. For now though, DG Mate JV is the last one up. He's going to be playing around. A triple kill for Patrick, and that's the end from DG. And as I said before, sometimes you really have to punish those on the motorbike, and we didn't see that till too late.
I think SYZ have had so many games where they just like run over people with the motorbikes.
Yeah.
Until this point.
How is that unpunished? I don't get it.
I do think it's very bizarre to see that you see these vehicles coming and you don't apply a lot of pressure onto the vehicles, right? Because it's a motorbike compared to a car, any of the four-wheelers. It's got such low health, so you would assume that you'd want to get rid of it.
Yeah, very
so
passive.
I wonder if they're just going to sort of be let. Who knows?
I'm not sure. Oh, look at that flex there.
Beautiful vehicle.
Yeah, they're not even scared. They're at this point, they're like, let's just everyone ride the same car. We're not gonna get shot at. And this comes back to what I was saying.
I'm very sure if they needed to, you could just strap someone to the roof and they'd be fine.
Exactly.
You don't even need a seatbelt, right?
Yeah. I'm just surprised at why are they not being punished for this. It's very passive gameplay for some teams. We see DGE, they try to take initiative, but it's the wrong time, which is so early. But for now though, one member getting knocked down. KOG wants to finish him off. Osaka only half HP, less than half HP exactly. And they gotta play this fight really sweet. But for now, Wang Zido finishes off one member. Kevin will be the first out to the lobby. 3 members left. I can't believe N1K actually finishes one off. He gets another knock. What? Mr. Watson, oh, what's happening? What? N1K? Where was this earlier? Did they just mow down KOG? This gives SAF that room they want to move
SAF and
place.
So it's basically down to SAF and SES, right? So these are the 2 teams that are going to be remaining.
Oh
my gosh.
I was so speechless. I had the words
that was
just
bizarre.
coming out of my mouth. Oh man, but for now this is SYZ again in the danger zone. They love the danger zone and they are using their advantage because they are like, okay, thank you for finishing off KOG, and now we will finish you off as well. The return though will be having a 1v1 with Wochan at the back. Look at how many walls are out, and return does take a little bit of damage, but Ranger though, he's gonna move forward. He's gonna be taking a 1v2. Fatbird takes a little bit of damage there. His teammate was with him. I didn't see that right now, but I can see they're trying to run over another player. I can see that triple kill from Wochan. What?
SYZ? Oh, they're under heavy fire here.
And 1K does finish off, but they lose out on return. Wochan just did so much damage. He didn't pick off 2 with that nade. Wochan's nades just now was absolutely terrifying.
Oh man, so what's the plan here though? Is it going to be SYZ to apply pressure onto GOW
They are. They
now?
already
Oh,
are. Look
Tuka.
at Tuka already knocked
Go
down,
on.
and Tuka will be finished off by 4-bits though from the other side. SEF like, yeah, that's the third party we've been waiting for, and they are already rotating from the back.
Oh gosh, SYZ are on fire, and they could be looking to actually take that first place away from HQ, right? Because SYZ, these guys are so bloodthirsty and they're so good at taking these kills. And we're not even close to the final circle yet. They're on 10 kills, Tash. 10!
Look at Ranger! He's just inside layers upon layers. But SAF will be coming through. Rangers, just his buying time actually might just save him. But Patrick though falls down. Smart, because he doesn't want to give that points to SAF. McCrory though coming from the side. They want to finish him off. But you can see there, Nikki will be coming for Patrick. As Sming though is in trouble, will be finished off. But Ranger is inside that little present there. I'm not sure if Let's Go is aware that Ranger is in there. Oh, maybe they do. They're breaking it off. They find him. Oh, he's in trouble so much right now. And that's the end of GOW taking 5th place.
And Tash, SAF, they're sitting on 7 kills right now. We actually have to take a look and see what are the kill points for SES, because if SES have no kills...
They are actually taking down SYZ. Nikki in trouble. They are sandwiched between SAF as well as HQ right now. SAF can't move down because HQ is downside, but they do want to finish off SYZ. They can. There's only 2 members of SYZ right now, but right now they're trying to finish off HQ down there. Wherever they can. They're just breaking the walls if they can right now. SYZ though does climb back up. How are they able to do that? Let's Go though all alone on that side. McCrory will be the first one knocked down. Let's Go has to come and save his teammates right now. HQ gonna push up. They want to be the third party right now. SYZ solo Dame with McCrory already knocked down. 4-bits, the only one on that side will be able to get Let's Go down. Oh man!
And look at HQ. HQ are coming in for the third party this time.
Oh my god, SAF, I am so sorry for you. Neo now again, the kill leader. So Let's Go all alone though will be dropping down. But SAF does get a kill lead right now. And Neo now over on this side. And we can see what's going on there. Neo now will be chasing after 4-bits right now. He knows that 4-bits is over on that side. But the circle will be pushing into them. 4-bits all alone. 1 versus 2 against HQ.
Oh, Tash, this is 4-bits. He's taking damage. Oh, 4-bits. 4-bits cannot die. But look, SES is coming. HQ is coming. This is such a tense moment.
HQ, please. I am praying for SES. Yes, they do! Yes, they do! Here we go. SES, they want to take it down. They take down HQ on 3rd place now. Oh, right now, SEF, can he right now get the picks that he wants? Because we all know that 4-bits plays the sniper, but the circle will be going down south.
Okay, if 4-bits can get kills, if my maths is correct right now, Tash,
I
think SAF are in 3rd place anyway. Tash, if my maths is correct, okay, SES, how many kills did they have just now when they finished the round?
I'm not sure. I
think it was about 2 or 3, right? It wasn't many. So they're basically they're relying on placement points, okay?
Right.
SAF, I think SAF had something like 8 kills.
Yes,
so
they finished off with 8 or 9, I believe.
So if we do the maths, does that mean SAF would have taken over SES, because SES were only 2 points away in 3rd place?
All right, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, though, this is the booyah from SES, their first one of the day, taking it away from KOG, SAF, HQ as well. Absolutely insane. But the thing is, this is the late gameplay I was talking about, and it's just so sad that the play-ins was just this short, because some teams were not able to adapt fast enough to this. So let's have a look here at how, for this time around though, SES, they lost, 2 members early, I believe? And despite that, they're still doing so well. They still managed to survive till the end.
I mean, at the end, they had 4 players, right? You had the numbers advantage, you had the loot advantage, and you were basically coming into the fights at full health, and everyone else was still recovering. They were still healing. They had almost no resources left. So it was just the perfect opportunity for SES to just sort of come in and be like, hey guys, we're just going to take this booyah. Thank you very much. This game is ours. But the thing is, because they played that passively in the late game, I think they may have lost their placement. I think what they should have done is they needed to join those fights. They had to deny those kills from SAF and take them for themselves. But because they didn't do that, they may have potentially lost 3rd place, Tash.
Exactly. So we'll just have to wait and see who will be getting third place. But for now, though, if SAF does get third place, you have to see how many points they get and how many points does the third place seed tomorrow need to beat in order to be the third team into the finals from from Group B. That's gonna be like the most I think scary part for SAF, because as I mentioned before, if you're in day one, you are gonna have to just watch and stare and just pray that they don't come close to the amount of points you have. And the thing is, when you look at teams like HQ, KOG, as well as SYZ, look how competitive they were today and how proactive they were in terms of getting those points.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, I know at the beginning I already mentioned that kills are, I didn't say this, but I'm going to say it now. Kills are deceiving, right? Like you think, oh, it's just 1 point per kill. Kills
But you get
are
a lot of
deceiving.
kills though.
Yeah, if you go off, those kills are going to determine whether or not you're going to make it forward, because there's a limited number of placement points that you can get, and you can't guarantee placement points. Same thing can be said with kill points, but when it comes down to everything, kill points are probably more important than placement points. So
I still think you need to find a balance. I still think you do. But Joju though will be the key player for the game, and this is the game kill leaders right now. Patrick with 6, Forbits 5, Neo now with 5, and I am so happy to see Forbits, or at least a member of SAF, finally up here. And honestly, when you think about it, during MCP majors, we did see Forbits mentioned a lot. But for now, though, Patrick will be the new player up here. It's not Returns, not his teammate, but him. Neo now. I believe this is not his first time in the game kill leaderboards.
Nah, he's been up here before.
Yeah. Neo is insane. Every time I see him already away from his teammates, sometimes I get a little bit nervous, but I know that he's very what's the word? He's very confident in his abilities, and we love to see that. And the thing is, HQ, I'm not too sure how they lost their third member, but they were still able. The thing is, with Team HQ, right, I feel like even if they have 2 players, they will still be able to at least get a lot of kills or even high placements, because just the way how they play.
Exactly.
At GOW though, when you talk about GOW, right, they are definitely a team that we see a lot in fights, but they never quite make it till the end. And the thing is, are they too aggressive that they just overestimate their abilities?
Technically, yes. So I'm just looking at the total standings from last round, right? So something that makes GOW sort of stand out towards the bottom of the leaderboard is that, so they're in 9th place. They have 14 kills overall today, but they're under NC, who only have 6, and they're also under Epic, who only have 13. So it seems that for GOW, in their case, their aggression is not only
detrimental to them.
It's not just detrimental, it's like the key aspect to GOW too, right? It's like if they're not aggressive, they don't do well, but it's they do play aggressive, and sometimes it just comes back to bite them in the butt.
Yeah, because anyway, we did talk about this before, like how you want to find that sweet spot between fights as well as survivability, and when exactly is the best time to start taking fights. When is how long you need to survive before you start taking fights? If you are aggressive from the beginning, like DGE is one of those teams. So many times they will always drop with another team, and they hope to mow them down. But the thing is, though, they always not only just lose, then they lose so many, and they also, the thing is, even if they win the fight, they lose so many members, and they're not able to maximize their points. They get maybe 2-3 points and they're out. That's it, the end. But when you look at this last fight though, like how HQ played it, they were very, very patient. This is a very different sort of playstyle that we saw in the beginning, and now, because just now we saw them aggressively looking for kills. But when you look at just now's fight, they were the one playing third party.
I'm really, really keen to see what the final points are, Tash, because I want to know who's going to make it through, who took that 3rd place, and what we're sort of expecting for tomorrow's matches as well,
benchmark
right?
for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, because
but the thing is, when you think about it again, like 3rd place is quite far away from 1st and 2nd, so there is that gap there. So it does solidify. It does give a little bit of wriggle room for the team that wants to get 3rd place tomorrow. But then
I don't know actually, because we also need to think what's the leaderboard going to look like tomorrow for the other group. Is it going to be more evenly spread out? Because an evenly spread out leaderboard is actually going to kick whoever's in third place in this group out, right? Because all the points have been hogged by our top 2 teams.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just trying to see the teams for tomorrow. I want to see how aggressive these teams play. But as I said before, we can only see what we can see. What's the word? We can only see what we can see from previous gameplays. You know, as I mentioned before, SAF has been consistently playing like they did during SFP Majors, during FFPO. We haven't really seen a shift in terms of play style. But for Group B, we have tomorrow your team. You have BTS. Do Easy was a team that was a last-minute comeback team, so we might be seeing that tomorrow from Do Easy again. As for but the thing is, we have our teams already that will be advancing to finals, which is HQ as well as CCG. Raiders, which I'm very very excited to see as well because they are very very consistent. HQ with their more aggressive play style as well as placement points, they found that sweet spot. But compared to CCG, who doesn't really focus too much on the booyahs, but just getting the high placement points as well as aggressive kills. I think very similarly played, but in different sort of. And I think HQ is just more flashy. I believe
it is.
Yeah,
they're just more fun to watch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. Yeah,
it's a team that
CCG was very quiet. Was like we didn't even realize they got up,
No, Tash. I actually think to a certain degree, Syzygy
Oh
just
my
started
God.
to adopt HQ's playstyle. SAF did it! I told you. My math skills, they're not that bad. It has been
3 points.
almost a decade since I've been to school, and my math still checks out.
My math is definitely not there. I am ashamed to be Asian right now, but it's okay. I mean, it's never been good in the first place, but this is the benchmark for tomorrow. The team needs to have above 66 points to make it to the grand finals.
You know what's bizarre,
this is
Tash?
crazy though. But imagine if all the teams, the first place team only got 60 points. Imagine in Group B, right? Everyone, the maximum was 60 points.
Right? That's what I said. It's like, what happens if the groups tomorrow are more
I doubt
evenly
it, though.
distributed?
I mean, I doubt it. When you look at it, you have BTS, you have
You're putting a lot of expectations on my team. I'm worried.
No, not just that. Like you also have you have also Box Gaming from Vietnam, and we all know that Vietnamese teams are very very aggressive. We have EVOS, Phoenix Force. We have we also have it's definitely
a lot of teams.
Yeah, there's a lot of good teams. I would say that tomorrow looks more. I would say that tomorrow looks a lot more scary, I believe, because we are seeing these teams that we have that are more, I wouldn't say more aggressive for sure, but these are teams that do have a name or a reputation at least to look out for.
Yeah, I think it's just the concept that these teams now have a benchmark to look out for.
Yeah, I think having a benchmark is a
the
good
third.
thing. It is definitely a good thing, but that's also a very scary thing, because when you're playing blind, you're just going with the flow. But when you're playing with a benchmark, it hurts more when you already know by game 4 or 5 you're not gonna hit that expectation, you know?
I'm just wondering, right, like, is it a disadvantage to play first then because you are setting the benchmark, so you sort of don't know what you're aiming for? Like, you don't know what numbers you're supposed to be targeting. So it's like, at least tomorrow, the teams that are sitting in 3rd, 4th, 5th, like, they know, okay, I need more kill points, I need more placement points, I need more
they know what
points.
to look out for. Absolutely. Also, another thing that, as I was mentioning earlier, SKF will be praying tonight. Tomorrow they'll be watching and they're just like praying and hoping that 3rd place does not even breach 60 points. And once you look teams like like HQ and SYZ, they are already so high up there when you think about it. That is absolutely scary, because what if tomorrow the same thing happens?
Well, actually, think of it this way, right? Like, what if tomorrow the points end up going to the top 3 teams, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, Tash, it's not going to be us to cast tomorrow. It's going to be Husky and Mustachio, but hopefully everyone has enjoyed our... I don't know what to call
our
this.
First cast together, and I think we unintentionally matched too, which is honestly so exciting. Our wavelengths are on point.
Put the 2 hosts together. I wonder whose idea that was.
But for now though, that's the end for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching the day 1 of play-ins. Tomorrow is day 2. We're gonna be seeing Group B, and we'll be seeing if SEF does make it to the 3rd spot. And my name is Tash alongside Danley. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye guys.